What
Oh,
else
wait,
can
what
we
up?
do but just start somewhere, right? You start somewhere and you see where it goes. Another one bites the dust.
That's the beginning of the journey, right?
Another one. Another
Yeah.
one.
That's the beginning of the journey.
Another one bites the dust. If you live 10 years, that's already 3,000 days, right? At least. So, how many days we
you just came up with the math on that one.
how many days we live in, really? 100,000 days? That's pretty crazy, ain't it?
Are we really living?
If yeah, right. If you started right the first time you could understand shit at 5 years old, I'm just like, you're gonna get 100,000 of these days, right? You would be like, okay, I can waste a few. You would.
Well, it's
All
like,
right, well, nobody's gonna maintain a dedication 100,000 days in a row.
it's weird because like when you see a lot of people, like when I see you or like when you see me, like a lot of times we're doing things, but like after you stop seeing that person, they go home, they have their individual life, they start doing whatever else by themselves. You like sometimes I wonder what some people do
Me
by
too,
themselves. You know what I'm
bro. Me
saying?
too.
I'll be chilling. I'll be by myself doing something. I'll be like, man, I'm like, no, no, I'm just alone. I wonder what he's doing. I wonder what they're doing right now.
I
You know what I'm
swear,
saying?
bro.
Just
I
like,
swear. And a lot, especially since we're in such a small spot, like your seat at somebody was somewhere earlier, just like, you're right there. Oh, I was there at 6. I was there at 4. Like, yeah, I always wonder about that with new people I meet too, especially because I always wonder like, what's that person do on their free time? Like when I'm sitting there playing the game, it's funny because you can do it two ways. That's why it's like why they say the comparison is the thief of joy. Or it's like because you can sit there and go, well, what is David Goggins doing?
yeah,
And then feel like a loser. But then you can go like, oh, what is
so and so
I don't want
doing.
to call a loser out.
Yeah, exactly. But what's so and so doing?
Yeah, you're like, oh well, I'm better than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
I did a mile today.
That's,
So I'm better
that's,
than that
that's
person.
a big one. But like, especially when you live in Baltimore City, when you walk across like all these row homes, I'll just be like, man, like there's just a life inside that domicile right there. Like,
Yeah, and how close we live, bro. Like right on the other side of that wall is a completely different style of life, and we're just right here.
with a completely different decoration and like everything, man. Yeah, it's someone else's home where they keep their belongings.
Really, it's just a big ass room.
Yeah, it's a big ass storage facility.
We're all just renting big ass rooms.
It's just a big ass storage facility, bro. Like that's where you're storing your stuff. And man, it was making me sick the other day because I kept thinking about it. I was just like, look, like you leave this one particular place, and you like every day you go to the same location, and then you come right back here. Like I get into those types of thoughts when I think about like the way we live and whatnot, where we just pick this one spot to live in Baltimore City, and we're living here. But yeah, that's really where you're just keeping your stuff. You're storing your food. That's where everyone does that, and like everyone's doing that in each of their own homes. Like I don't know, man. It's just one of those like weird tirades that you kind of get down with your mind.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Where like you just keep running it down for some reason. There's no real end. There's no real ending right there.
Got hit on that one.
Oh yeah, you're right. My bad. Oh yeah, I was looking for it. Yeah.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about, bro.
You start getting into the conversation. You start listening.
Yeah,
losing track of your sound.
yeah. I was making sure everything was tied together.
You refer to me as an engineer, okay? Like,
okay, that works. I got a picture of it to confirm it.
There we go. We're sounding good, bro.
But I also think about how like even us, for example, I think about like, we're best friends, but we have so many things that aren't in common. We have a ton of things that aren't in common, but we have so many things that are in common. And you're just like, it's like you don't even look for somebody who has to see something every way that you see something, right? Because then it's not even good. You see these certain people where you're like, damn, they check so many boxes of the same boxes I check. That's the best way I can look at it. It's like, oh, you check 100 boxes that I check.
It's the differences, like that like I focus on with like a lot of people. Like like the similarities are like the easy things. Like it's like, we both enjoy this, we both enjoy that, and it's like the hard things are the things we don't agree on. You know what I'm saying? Like the things that we don't agree about, how to approach things different ways and whatnot. I mean, I think one example, how we see that work out is in like games like Warzone. Like we see that type of thought pattern work out. Like everyone has a different perspective on how to, tackle particular goals and different things in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, and those things apply to bigger things in the real world.
It's funny how you see it, right? It's the same thing with sports, right? It's like the same kind of thing. Games, sports, you can kind of see of like, you get a sense of like the same way that most people are on the court is how they usually are off the court. Yeah. It's like, If you're not a very vocal person, you're probably not a very vocal person off the court. It's very unlikely. It's the same thing on a game. Like if you're not a guy that thinks ahead, you probably don't think ahead really any day. That's one thing that bothers me the most with a lot of people where I'm just like, you already knew. Like for me, once I see a goal, I see an objective. You're thinking about, okay, these are the steps I got to take. These are the steps I got to take to accomplish this objective. So I've already got A, B, C, and D laid out. I know once I do A, what I'm going to do at B. It seems like a lot of people just go to A. Yeah. And then it's like, where do I go from here? For me, I see a clear line of like how you're supposed to do something, how you're supposed to get somewhere. Yeah. It's all about if I follow it from that point.
See, me, like I always feel like I had like a natural intuition of like kind of like just like critical thinking and problem solving, where it's like, like troubleshooting things, or you're trying to figure out something wrong with something. And you just like, you try this, you try that, you deduce from there, you keep moving forward. Eventually you fix it or something like that. You Google it, YouTube it, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there's been like a lot of things I've just done off YouTube or Google it real quick. And you're just like, huh, you're just like able to figure out, but like, I mean, we talked about it before, where people just will not take those steps to like even try and look at something like, hey, is this even something I could fix?
Right.
Whereas like, nah, I can't even fix that. Oh, it's the car. Like I can't even fix that. Oh, it's my heating, my HVAC system. I can't even fix that.
But then it's funny. Sometimes you just don't want to too, though, because it's like with Rodney. Like I remember Rodney literally worked at a spot where like for a living, he did oil changes, basically, but he paid someone to do his oil change. He's like, I don't want to do it when I'm off, I do it for a living. So it's funny how also.
I mean, it's also really cheap to get an oil change. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't cost nothing. If it was $100 oil change, you might think about it differently.
It's like, I go under there.
That's always the thing. It's always the price of convenience, and it's always like how much you're willing to spend on that particular thing. Like, with an oil change, it's like if it ever became $100 oil change for me, I'm probably gonna do it by myself. You know what I'm saying? Right now it's like $20 to get an oil change.
Yeah, but I always think about you get what you pay for. When I hear somebody saying $20 for an oil change, I'm like,
I think it's one of those things. It's because it's like
leave my shit off.
Especially most basic models of cars, like the Toyotas, the Hondas, the Civics. Like I mean, like it's all so streamlined, and the products are like so like they're manufactured to like a certain degree. Like it's always been like this, and like now we're to a certain point where it's just like it's so cheap to do this. What do we need to worry about? Where Porsche's like. It's $150 oil change, It's like you need a special tool to get that oil cap off, type of shit.
It's weird how much shit we waste when you just think about like the littlest things. Like one thing that I see like in my job is just screws. Like how many screws are probably on planet Earth, bro, that just were left behind?
Yeah,
it's trillions.
They end up in my tires. That's where they end up, bro. It's a fucking magnet for that shit.
Yeah.
That's where they're going.
We've had about 4 or 5 tires, bro.
That's
it's pretty bad.
Going, you know what I'm saying? It is.
Just think about like in the ocean. Like how many fucking, screws are there? How much metal's in the ocean? It's just so much shit we waste it. It's literally cheaper to get a new one than to fix most things,
Well, it's like with like the metals, it's like, it's like, okay. But it's like the plastics and the trash, it's like, You know what I'm saying? Because I think the metals, like, I think they're always going to be like, going back to that. I mean, like a huge rust pile that's just like leaking to the ocean isn't good, of course. But
I could see them just making plastic screws at some point, bro. Just a hard ass plastic.
Oh, definitely, man. It's definitely coming.
Eventually they're gonna ray out of all minerals, right?
It's weird that oil made like all of that like possible. You know what I'm saying? Like it was oils and like petroleum and stuff, and like that type of stuff that like was able to make plastics what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. I don't even understand petroleum.
I don't even get what that is. Talking about all the different oil companies that were sprouting up back then, and like the quest to find more oil because cars were like using everyone's using it and type of shit. It's the next biggest thing. It's it's the thing to have. It's the future. I don't know, man. It's just like it made so many things possible. It's so weird how like of a great effect it had on our world, but had like like when like every reaction there's an equal and opposite. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So like all the great things that it did create is also what's destroying us.
When you see the big picture like that, though, you go back to why people always say like it's all meant to be, quote unquote, like everything happens for a reason. It's almost like they give you that, right? Yeah. We make the growth we're supposed to, but like the earth can just sustain the amount of time we need it to go from that to another source of energy, you know?
Yeah.
Like it sustained that much, and now we're gonna figure out how to build it back. And it's all just kind of like meant to be
Yeah.
in one long path.
Well, I
Even though
mean,
that sucks to think.
one thing that like, you know, was I was reading a while ago was that like the amount of plastic that they were expecting to find in oceans was actually like, you know, like it was like a third of what they were actually expecting, you know, to be there. And they were trying to figure out why that might be. And you know, what they're saying is that like they believe that the earth and its, you know, the water system and the ecosystem itself is evolving in a way to where it can, like, you know, get rid of those plastics in an efficient way, where you have things that couldn't digest plastic before, you have them now able to intake the plastic and digest it,
What?
you know.
What?
It says organisms, microorganisms in the ocean, bro.
But
Crazy.
those have always been there.
Yeah,
They've
but
always been able to eat
they've
plastic.
evolved in such a way that they can digest it and live off it. Like it's like a consumable.
But don't we just always the way that my mind's working here is like, don't we just always have to worry about who funded that study though?
Oh, of course.
You know, what
I'm
if they
saying?
found 6 times as much
Oh, of
plastic as they should? Like we see corruption everywhere. You know,
Very true,
who are
very
we to
true,
say?
very
It
true.
could be literally the oil industry that's
Yeah.
or the plastic industry.
But it would also make sense that like the Earth would be able to, like, as a living being itself, possibly evolve in such a way. You know?
I guess so, but it's pretty insane to think about. But it's also insane to think about, like, even if like I consider myself a tree hugger, right? I don't think that I'm fully like that, but I would say that I'm a tree hugger as the
Environmentalist.
way they put it, right? But then it's like, would you go drill oil in Texas, you know, for 150 grand a year?
It's like,
Well,
maybe.
fuck,
It's
you
just-
know, God, but you're willing to sell for $1, you know, your morals almost, man.
Yeah, that one's a tough one. I mean, I'm just trying to think of if there was an oil boom here in Maryland and something like that happened. They were like, "Look, oil's here. Go drill it." You know, like
100 grand a year.
and they're hiring people no experience off the fucking streets with
Full
like
benefits.
75 grand, a year starting off, pretty much. You know, like shit like that. I'm just like, I don't know, maybe
If I just make enough money, I could do more help for the planet. I just gotta make enough to do it
next thing you know,
by hurting you.
Next thing you know, you retire oil rig guy, you know, and you fucking
You work 50 years,
you
Jordan.
know? Yeah, but I mean, you're making 200 grand a year, so
You eat
you
you.
know what I'm saying? You
You gotta chew.
and then you hate yourself.
Yeah. You become vegan at 50. It was like, I did it all wrong. Your daddy was a cattle rancher, though. Imagine saying that.
Your daddy was a cattle rancher.
Just imagine that. This is crazy. I always was like, I was talking about Kate the other day when we went on vacation originally to Deep Creek. I'm just looking at this family drive their jet skis. I'm like, first imagine having one parent, either one, right?
Mhm.
And then imagine having both your parents together.
Right.
And then imagine having a vacation home at Deep Creek. And then imagine having jet skis.
Yeah.
It's like, that's so far off.
I remember, I remember when I went with my buddy. He was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to convince my parents to buy a place out here." And then I was like, "You know, they can rent it out year round, and then when we come up here, we'll just have a home." And he's trying to convince. I mean, his parents were able to do it. You know, he's like, "My parents can do it." There's those types of people that make money, they don't like spending it. You know what I'm saying? They need to spend their money. It needs to be a lake home.
I like
I'm
this
just
guy.
like, oh yeah, fuck
Yeah,
yeah, you
get
know
a
what I'm
lake
saying?
home,
You know what
dude.
I'm saying? Straight up, it pays for itself. Let it rent it out the rest of the year. You know?
Yeah, if not, I mean, I'm sure the property's always going up. Like that one shit they showed, who is it? Is it fucking Warren Buffett? It's someone. One of them rich fucks. But they just showed how much they made off of property, basically. Like he bought some like Broadway back in the day for like a couple $1 million. It's the same, and like now it's worth like, you know, multiple $1 million.
Yeah.
Same thing with sport teams, bro. Like those guys are complaining them
increasing
LLB teams, you know, but like the guy that bought them, you know, before with the Marlins was like $10 million or some shit.
Yeah.
And it's worth like $1 billion now or some shit. Like crazy numbers, you know, and they're arguing like to pay $400 to their minor league guys.
It's like, come on.
It's wild. Like that's what I was
Dish it
thinking about
out.
with my company, bro. I'm like, this is a multi-million-dollar company and you got to lay people off that make $400 a week.
Yeah.
And this doesn't make sense, bro. That's such a little minuscule amount.
Yeah. See, I think about them as like, you know, you see companies that it's like, you know, year end on end is like, you know, growth in sales, and then, you know, it's just like, what's the next goal? Just like get more. You know, it's like they never become happy with this shit. You know, just like, look, oh, we're down a little bit this year. I mean, the past 2 years we went up 20% year on year end. You know what I'm saying? Like every year after year we did that, and then now we're down 5, but we're still up 15 compared to the 3 years ago.
Comparison.
That's awesome. I mean, that's good in business,
Right.
as far as like years ago. You know what I'm
But
saying?
we stopped growing.
But it's only a year.
But it's the fact of, the classic, I bet 10 mil a hand, and
Yeah.
you're only allowing me to bet $1 million. I lost 9 million.
Well,
I didn't win $1 million. I lost 9 million. It's like when Kay will go buy $20 worth of scratch off, and she says, "I won $10. You lost $10." You mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just funny how you can flip it like that. But any of those rich people like that, they can just buy any space, right? Any real estate. And then they also put the money in making the place worth money, build a shopping, like my sister's apartments. They also own the shopping center across there, like El Salto and everything. That's all owned by her apartments.
And they just rent it
so
out,
they built apartments right next to the place they built shopping center.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a beautiful idea.
I mean, like, and the math is always like, to a point, because like when they pick these locations for the stores, they always like map out how much this particular location needs, how much is in the area. Like I remember like they were mapping out the Starbucks locations in New York and averaging how much it needs to survive based off its locations. And like, so it's like, I think it's like there's every 5 blocks or so there's a Starbucks. That's the math that's needed based on like the math that they came up with for the amount of people that they need to survive off that store and make money, There's like the next one has to be 5 blocks away, just like then we have enough money over there, 5 blocks. So
like Sif, bro.
And
every 3 moves over.
And they work it all out, man. So it's just like that's a very calculated move. Like they're doing that in Canton right now. All these apartments, what are they gonna spend their money on besides housing? We need grocery stores, and we can sell that to people. It's like, look, people are living here. Hey, you can make money because people are living here. It's like the money's there. It's gonna circulate.
Yeah, we're not gonna redline this, right? What do you think about that chick who got arrested for putting that gun in that woman's face?
Oh, she was definitely.
Do you think
wrong.
that was appropriate?
Definitely wrong. Yeah.
My cousin Gary won him on that one, saying that every American has a right to protect themselves.
You do, but there's
I get what you're saying, but you can't just go waving your gun around.
That's what I'm saying. There's also laws against that. I mean, like, even though there's open carry states, like there's brandishing, there's threatening with a firearm, there's shit like that. And there are specific situations do constitute that, but that's for the police to decide on and try and review.
Couldn't you tell by the video? That lady was scared.
And on that particular one, it's like
her eyes were like, she did not look comfortable with that gun.
No, not at all.
They were showing like the ones that pulled the guns on the protesters. Like that lady had her finger on the trigger. The other guy had his safety off.
Went around, yep.
It's like they don't even have proper gun etiquette.
They don't even know.
No.
Exactly.
It's got ARs.
I was saying, like, with that case in particular, like, I mean, like, there was a video that showed kind of like a different angle where, like, like the other lady being kind of like an aggressor. But even so, to the point to bring out a firearm is like a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? That's what people don't understand. No matter what type of like
with a child, bro,
especially without like if there's no physical contact and no real physical escalation, you know what I'm saying? Like, how can you really draw that firearm and expect the law to be on your side?
And once you know that someone doesn't have a weapon of any sort,
exactly,
like that's the big thing to me is like what I was trying to say is like the lady clearly doesn't have any type of weapon, not a knife. She's just recording. So at this point, why would a gun be in her face? I get if you pulled a gun. But why would it be in her face? Why would it be drawn with her kid right there watching her? Bro, you pull a gun on me with my kid there, yo. I'm going to play it nonchalant, bro. Just like, yeah, we're calling the cops, The moment that you put your guard down, bro, I'm bashing your fucking face in, yo. You're never going to pull a gun on me in front of my kids, dude. Like,
I'm taking that gun. It's going to be a trophy. It's like, I disarmed this motherfucker.
Yeah, you see when that guy was like, that white boy came and was like, basically bitching that dude who tore down the signs.
Yeah.
He's like, his family's in the SUV. He's just like, I'll fucking trash you in front of your family. Bro, I don't care who you are, bro. You have to get out and fight. Even if you're going to get knocked out, bro. If you're a man, if you're a grown man, though, yo, you got to go out there and fight that day, bro. It's one guy and he's bitching you that, he pushed on his head with his finger, bro. There's some shit as a man you just do not allow. It don't matter.
But see, I remember like you also said yourself before, well, like
Hype,
that kid
right?
was ready to fight.
Right. So then you have to go, okay, well, obviously this man's doing too much, right?
He
He's
wasn't ready
hyped.
to fight.
So I have to negate this, right?
Yeah.
So then, oh, my bad. I'm done. The moment that he, gave you the opportunity, you had to lay him out, bro.
Yeah.
You got to get that first punch in to really damage him,
Yep.
No shot, something like that to really throw him off.
And commit.
Yeah, and commit.
I see
yes.
people time and time again. I mean, like, who am I? But I mean, like, you see it all the time. They'll like punch somebody or like try and get like the first one off, and they don't commit to it.
And that's
not
right.
at all, man.
But that backfires on the other side because you see a lot of guys who have watched videos like that, and they're like, "I'm gonna let you get the first one," and the guy will knock them out with the first one. It's like you really can't let people get a free shot into you, no matter what.
Exactly. And
You definitely can't.
It's not good for you to like. If you're gonna fight, you want to be the first one to spark off on somebody. You know what I'm saying?
So
that's tough. Yeah, it's tough for some people.
I understand why he walked away initially, right? Because the guy comes up, he's super pumped up, like you evaded his initial attack. At this point, you're trying to walk back to your family. I get it. When he came up behind him, and he pushed with his finger on his head, like, get in your fucking car. It doesn't matter who it is, bro. From there on, you have to be looking for your chance to KO him.
I'm gonna take him to the ground. I mean, that guy that size.
Well, he had a partner with him. There's somebody recording.
That's true.
So in my mind, I'm thinking, I want to one punch this guy. You know what I mean? Like I'm a Cody Garbrandt this one. Where I really cock this bitch. You want to try and get him because he was getting close, right?
Yeah.
He was bumping him with his shoulder, but he wasn't swinging. So you got to initiate. The headbutt, bro. The headbutts are going,
especially the bald guy. Especially
right
the bald
there,
guy,
bro.
Man. Little butterbean neck head ass, like you're just like drive that bitch through
and follow up.
Just
follow up right away.
Just really drive that bitch too.
I love when they say, "Don't admire your work." That's what they say. Don't admire your work.
Go back to work.
Yeah. So many people throw a combo and then you sit there for a second. You're like, damn, But really, you throw a combo, you're supposed to be getting out of there, to avoid the combat.
What we've seen in movies, like I think it gets the best of everybody. Sometimes they'll be like, "Has it been a while?"
Oh, it does.
It's like when Spider-Man first shot web, he was just like.
Even guys who do it every single day, 8 hours a day, still make those common, natural human mistakes, bro.
Yeah.
Dustin was talking about that in that recent fight with Hooker. It was an absolute slugfest, bro. People say fight of the year, 5-round war, dude. And Dustin won. And at the end, he's like, I'm not happy with that fight, because that's not me. He's like, I don't want to be known for slugfest. I want to be known for being the guy that hits and don't get hit.
Yeah.
I want to be known for these fights. That's a bad job of it. He's like, I'm representing my coaches bad. I don't want to show that I'm a dog. I know I'm a dog. I don't have to show people I'm a dog. I want to win on, on my technique. I don't
want to get hurt.
Yeah, but Hooker was just a big 155er, bro. He's a big motherfucker. So Dustin had to take some licks.
It's like, I don't know who said it recently. It was like, you don't get paid for the amount of damage you take. You know what I'm saying?
No.
It's like, you get paid on winning. It's, I mean, like, you got to play both sides of it, though. Because, I mean, like, I think you've seen how, like, the UFC moves sometimes where it's like, you're dominant, but you're not really, selling or like you're not really exciting
he just
to
lost
watch.
A title fight, so he's in a bad spot because like he's clearly the number 2 fighter in the world, but he's just in a bad spot. Now he's watching someone he beat fight for the title.
Right.
Yeah, that's always tough, but he lost his chance. So shit happens. But I just liked how he said that about his team. He's just like, I feel like I represented them bad by showing I'm this dog. Now, what amazes me with fighting is these guys, because any of us, right, when we picture a fight, we're like, all right, if I scrap Steven right now, I want to evade every punch and just catch you with a counter or combination and knock you out, right?
You want to use your length too, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying, I'm not even saying like me versus you or like a person versus person. I'm just saying human versus human, right? I don't want to get hit and I want to knock you out, right?
Right.
But like Dustin going in that fight, he knows he's not going to knock Hooker out with one punch. And he knows that he's a bigger guy. So he goes into the punch knowing he's got to take some to get some, that always amazes me when the guys are like, I'm going to take damage, a lot of it, got to wilt through that, and I'm going to lay in more damage in the end.
Exactly. It's like, we'll see. It comes out on top from there.
I've talked about this before. A lot of times, like you see guys, like especially in school fights, they're fuck someone up, like a kid, they're fuck a kid up, and then the kid will get on top and land some good punches, and the guy will be like, all right. He lost the fight, but he did a lot of damage on that guy before. That's why I say you got to let them decide when the fight's over. Because I'd be pissed, right, if someone was kicking my ass for 2 minutes on top of me, a big motherfucker. And the whole time underneath, I'm just like, as soon as I get out of here, bro, I'm fucking you up, bro. And I'm just working. He's fucking me up for 2 minutes, and I slither out. And when I get up, you grab me. I was like, get off of me. Oh, he's tired. He's tired. I'm going to break him. You know? You don't want that, bro. And I hate seeing that when people do that. They try to break up a fight. You got to stop. If you're going to establish some rules, establish them off the jump.
Yeah.
If there's no ground, then there's no ground. Don't allow ground and then say you guys on the ground too long. Like, that, you know,
you stand people up. It's like, come on.
I see the one guy that was fighting the girl's boyfriend. He's like, got him in a perfect alley. He's putting him to sleep, but she's just like nailing him in his fucking nose, bro.
These street referees be fucked up sometimes.
She was holding his fucking. Well, street referees now have cameras. That's what they are. They're not referees no more. They have cameras. They're just like filming the most action, bro. That's what's crazy. Is like. That's what's gonna sell. That's what's gonna sell the most, bro. Is the thing that's like the most gory. It's so
very true, man.
It's so like, just like, bro, this guy got it. Like that shit you sent me the other day. There's a dude getting his head fucking blown off from the back. It's like really no reason for me to see that. I was like, oh, shit's gory.
Yeah.
Like, what is that about humans that it makes you? What makes you want to see that video? You know, get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. I don't know, man. You know, I mean, especially in today's world, it's like it's outlets in some case, you know what I mean? It's a dopamine. I have no idea, man. Like the internet's a very weird thing. I don't even fucking get it.
It's really amazing in Baltimore though, because like it always reminds you of like what Baltimore really is, because it really is at that line, you know. It's so different on East Baltimore than it is on West Baltimore.
Oh, especially where I live.
West Baltimore is America's Baltimore. You know what I mean? East Baltimore, like only people from Baltimore know.
Yeah.
You know, like it gets a little as you go up Eastern Ave.
Yeah.
You know, like for the most part down there, West Baltimore, that's what Baltimore is known for. And we're just split right there at that little gap right there.
Well, I mean, like
they come a little bit here,
the
then we push back a little
side
bit.
is still pretty bad, but I mean, like,
but you know what I'm saying, like
bro, if you drive over that area in the northeast side of Baltimore nowadays, man, like the amount that Johns Hopkins is bought over there, bro,
fitting to make some money, bro. They got some land.
Like every time I drive through there, bro, like I'm find myself on Biddle Street all the way, like you know, like
that's
you know,
what
like
gets so long. It's like, who is John Hopkins and why is he still purchasing shit? Why is he ever purchasing shit, bro?
Hospital group buying up all this shit.
Did John Hopkins really want this much land? Like, is this in John Hopkins' name? Really? Did he need 1,000 acres? Is that what? Who the fuck is? Who is that guy? I feel like it's fucking me up just saying the name of it now.
Oh my god, man.
John Hospital.
John Hopkins. John. It's always Johns Hopkins.
John Hopkins Hospital.
No, there's an S on the end, bro. It's Johns.
Johns Hopkins?
It's Johns Hopkins. There's an S on the end, bro.
But like, who is that guy? I don't even know. You would think us being from Baltimore, we should know. I don't even know who that is.
We probably should know, man. We probably should know.
John Hopkins is. Dude.
I'm not gonna only really.
He's got all the hospitals.
He started a hospital here in Baltimore.
He's got every hospital in one of the most famous states for hospitals. And we don't even know why this guy got to all these hospitals, bro. It's like, oh, John Hopkins. John Hopkins Bayview.
Doctor.
John Hopkins, he bought that. Like, that's what he wanted. He gave it to his family. They bought more shit.
I've not even been a doctor, you know what I'm saying?
I just don't understand who's still making the purchases. That's what making me geek. You know, so I'm just thinking, like, did he tell his kids, like, hey, keep buying shit, you know, like,
I mean, the company's just become bigger than.
Who's the company though? Is it him anymore?
Oh no.
Is it his? What I'm saying is, when I say is it him, is it his blood? You get what I'm saying? Like, is it even his kids? Like, okay, is it just random people that are buying things in John Hopkins' name? Like, is it who's making the purchases in this man's name? That's what I always wonder when people make music after the death. You know, it's like.
Well, I mean, like,
who got paid for the YouTube views of the new Tupac Shakur music video?
Can't you as a corporation like vote? Like, couldn't you vote out the family? You know,
bro,
like you're a board member.
Why is there a 2020 Tupac music video, dude?
2020 music, Tupac music
video? Yeah, why is Tupac still making music, bro?
What do you mean?
Like, why? What I'm saying is, like, who are these people that do? These artists are dead. Like, who's making shit for them? Who is John Hopkins that's making purchases in John Hopkins' name? Yeah, who's releasing albums in Tupac Shakur's name? Is it his actual kids? Okay. But if it's just like the company of Def Jam Records is still
I'm
releasing,
pretty sure that's what it is, though.
like
yeah?
they're just making albums of how they think Tupac would like it. Play a hologram of him playing some new songs. This shit's getting real freaky.
Yeah.
This is getting real Illuminati-ish.
I was saying, that's why I was thinking about like posthumous albums, like when people pass away and then they drop an album or something.
That's what I'm
It's like,
saying. Yeah.
I mean, it's really eerie to hear the lyrics of someone who's already passed away. But I mean, like, it's most definitely the label and the company making the money. You know what I'm saying? I feel like even at one point when companies get that big, they separate. Like, it'll probably just be bought out of the family. There's like, look, it's not even yours no more.
Right. Here's $1 Brazilian.
It's bigger than you guys are now. Here's
$50 billion. Shut up.
For life.
You won't even be on Forbes.
For your kids.
Yeah.
For life.
You're
life,
good.
whatever.
We're gonna
Everyone's
make
good.
150 billion. They're gonna make tenfold, but you don't care because you made your $5
What's
billion.
the point of making that much capital,
That's
bro?
why, like,
This is so
I know.
crazy.
Should we cap it at $1 billion?
Yeah.
Like, should we cap it at $1 billion? Like, look, after you make $1 billion, after you're worth $1 billion, every dollar after that is taxed. Every dollar. You cannot be more than a billionaire. Why is that not good enough? What costs? Like,
Well, I mean, like, because
obviously you can fill out some
of course-
paperwork,
Of course,
right?
what makes people so rich though is like it's also like they have their assets into it. You know what I'm saying? Like we're like
Why
they have
do
a
you need-
property
but-
that has a value amount,
but-
and then that's attached to their value as well. You
But
know?
listen, if the entire point of capitalism is for the trickle down economy, and we know that someone's worth $66 billion in assets,
right?
why? Getting $1 billion in assets not good? Could you not put $65 billion back into the trickle down economy? It doesn't seem like much trickle down. It's pretty much they just hoard it, bro.
And that's like that. And that's like
They own
that's
billions. What is
that's
that?
the thing. That's the
dude?
tax cases that they make for their things though. Like
What
so.
if- like,
listen,
who
so
does
let's- hold
Bill
on, hold
Gates
on, hold
go
on.
to if he wants to be like, show me all my money?
So like, hold on. So like when companies go to like talk about how much taxes that they owe and shit, like they always make the argument of being like, look, this is how many people in your state. We pay them this.
Right.
Those taxes. We want those deducted. We want this deducted. This deducted. Nothing. We do all that for. We've already paid enough taxes. And there'll be people that defend them. It's just like, no, man. It's just like you create so much money in one huge system, and then it's just like you just
Yeah.
keep it.
And
Like,
they
you know what I'm
go places they can target, right? They show that everywhere, right? The Walmarts are always like in places that they can target that they know, oh, there's no other option for this far
Yep.
along, right? Look at anything. Look at meat slaughtering factories. They're placed in low income areas. You know what I mean? Where they don't have to worry about that. Like that's what they do. They just target these certain areas where nobody else.
Yep.
Remember, South Park had a great episode.
Yeah.
Remember where Walmart comes into town and like no one has a business no more because Walmart can supply it for cheaper because they're order 100,000 of something. You can only order 10,000 of something.
Yep.
It becomes cheaper. That's why you can't make things out of your country. Like that should just be illegal. Like I just want to make that illegal, period. You got to make shit in America to sell it in America. What's up? Let's just do that right now. Like,
But I mean, but
why?
That's the thing. I mean, like,
why would it
like-
ever be cheaper for you to go to
But
China,
That's
dude?
the thing. That's the reality of the situation, though. Is like your phone and shit will literally cost tens of thousands of dollars if it was made here. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we
like,
gotta figure that out. We have to figure that out. Listen, then can we?
You know
What
that-
is that? What is that? Right? Is that child labor laws? Well,
the
then
labor.
that-
That's labor
well,
laws. Period. Bro.
Listen, well, if that's the problem, then obviously we should still stop doing it, though, right?
It's like
But
because
no matter what it's gonna cost, though,
a
right,
worker
Steve?
here will make $30 an hour. A worker there makes like 5 cents a day.
Right, but okay, so don't even argue though the economics. This is the moral code of that. Me and
Yeah,
you
that's what I'm
both
talking about.
we both agree on that.
Yeah.
We both accept that like this is why our phone's so cheap. So why don't we all just stop doing that? You know, we're like we just want cheap phones that bad.
Because
that-
they're so cheap.
that we don't. So isn't it weird that somebody will tell you like they care about a horse though? You know, but like there's some little kid that's making 65 cents to get cobalt out of a goddamn to burn cobalt fire pit or something like that. You know, it's like wild, bro. Like why? It's so weird. You know, people say they love animals and then they don't care about slaughterhouses or like they're just like I don't want to know where a hot dog comes from, but I love animals.
And that's,
Hey, well, you
that's-
love some animals.
Yeah, exactly.
All lives do not matter to you. You literally are just targeting specific, basically these like how they get on Chinese people for eating dogs and cats. Like, it's really nothing. You know what I mean? It's nothing. It's just a different way of life. They ate it just like we eat chicken. They view dog and cat as that. But we've decided that we don't eat that. You know,
Right,
we
exactly,
don't eat
yeah,
horse
yeah,
and shit like that.
yeah.
But plenty of places are just like, we got horse. we're gonna fucking eat it.
Exactly. It's like I got plenty of horses.
Yeah, and we got
I
plenty
have
of,
very little actual.
Yeah.
I don't know cows.
and
I'll
I'm
eat the
sure
horses.
I'm sure they got things that we eat that they probably don't eat.
Oh yeah.
You know, like all the fucking Doritos or something. You know?
Exactly.
It's like, wow. You ever see that shit with the European Union? Like their FDA compared to ours?
Yep.
It's like all of our shit's like almost double the requirement that they have.
Yeah.
Like most of the shit we make here, you can't
And
even get
all
to
things,
Europe.
bro. What I'm saying, like even like when it goes to like like sizes of soda or like even amount of sugar allowed in soda, like
Yeah.
everything, bro. It's just like you get to here, and it's like, oh, you can add that extra chemical here
It's
in America.
American style.
It's in America. You can add that extra.
It's so weird.
That's the one thing. Like you talk to a lot of people from like that aren't born in America, and they're like, "What's the craziest thing?" It's just like the craziest thing is the endless soda. It's just like that's the craziest thing.
Right.
It's like you just get free refill on your soda all day.
Like they said that
I'm like, that's the craziest thing.
like a lot of places don't even have value size.
Yeah.
You know, like medium is a large.
Yeah.
But for us, like we invented the 44 ounce.
It wasn't big enough.
Yeah, like we invented like chili cheese dog. There was a dog, but then we put like chili and cheese on it. That's how I picture it, you know? It's like that's the American way. You can have whatever you want here. And that's why it makes it so easy for people to be fat and shit. You know, I really appreciated what Joe Rogan did on his podcast the other day. He had Jon Stewart on there.
Yeah.
And it was a point where Jon Stewart was trying to say that obese people can be healthy. He was like, you could be big and you could still be healthy. Yeah, and then Joe was just like, no. He's like, that's literally what your body's showing you. You're unhealthy. You wouldn't be big if you were healthy. Your body's working harder.
Bro.
I was like, he's just trying to be like politically correct.
I watched it was a video. It was like 1920s or some shit. It was a high school video, like out of like California or some shit, of like the presidential fitness program, and like all the high school students taking this program and like doing the fitness exercises and whatnot. I'm just like, there's not a fat person in sight out this bitch, bro. Everyone's ripped out this bitch, bro. Everyone's fucking shredded. Like I don't understand. Like that's what we should want for everybody. Is everyone to be fucking shredded out this
It
bitch.
could also have been roided though, because we didn't know about the effects of roids at the time.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like,
I'm sure we were roiding our athletes too, right? We're definitely roiding up our. Just the Russians got caught.
I mean, like that was a thing back then, where it was like like the presidential fitness exam, where like you did shit like old school, like you literally had to be physically fit,
right?
You know what I'm saying? You had to be.
Isn't there like a weird part of you that wants to see what a human's capable of, though? Even no matter how many drugs they got to take, like we've mastered all these chemicals to put into you to make you the best possible, and now I want to see what you can deadlift. Yeah, 1,800 pounds. What the fuck? How?
Double down. What's doubling down do?
How?
You double down would destroy the body.
I see that guy Roddy Coleman. This is like 1,000 pound guys are like, yeah. What's your max? 700. Oh, I rep 1,000 pounds. It's like, what? How is your legs even get 1,000 pounds?
And then like we find things that work like that. We'll be like, all right, double down on that. Keep doing it. And then it's like, oh wait, too much. That's too much. And you fine tune that.
And then someone who doesn't even live in like a gravity atmosphere looks at us like, what are you even competing for? Like, what? You're just competing to be strong on that gravitational wave. Yeah, but up here, there's no gravity. Everywhere else in the world, there's no gravity. Only where you live. But you guys just compete to be the strongest there, like with the gravity.
Everywhere else, it's all mind. It's like they're like, it's all mind everywhere else, man. You know, you guys have a saying for it: mind over matter. You've invented that saying. You created that saying. But then you're succumbing to those physical matter things, man.
Freaky. When you get into space thought, bro, you really start freaking yourself out. And you just like how it's all black. That's what bothers me the most. I understand space. I just wish there was more suns. You're gonna say like I wish it was just more light in the universe. It seems so dark and lonely.
Yeah, I mean, like
make it look like there could be some life out there.
That's the thing. At one point, we thought that like
planets that might be the way they're trying to portray it.
We thought planets couldn't form outside of like a star system like that. But we found some that actually were like that formed outside of a star.
That's where we go from like his story, right? His story, right? Like you're the one telling it,
right?
As far as you know. That's why I like when Elon says, I created the rocket that's gone the farthest life has ever traveled that we know. He always makes sure to say that we know.
Yeah.
Because you never know how far life traveled. I think that kind of is a play, and that attaches me into another theory. It's kind of making me like a theory thought here, of like with the map, like the map that we view.
Yeah.
Did you know that that's based off of
Yeah.
the spread of Christianity,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
that views the size of countries, right? Have you ever seen the
there's
breakdown
two
of that?
different maps, and the one that we mainly
And the proper
see,
one,
yeah,
that's
the one
the
that we see.
size.
Yeah, the northern hemisphere specifically.
Don't you think they could fuck
Northern
us the same
hemisphere.
way with space?
Oh yeah.
Just make it look so dark, but it's actually pretty lit up there. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of light.
Well, I mean, like that's another thing.
Why is it
like,
so dark there? That's what I don't understand. Like, why is it? If we are the only planet, like I get that, like a lot of shit has to happen. I get it, you know, but it's just so tough. I don't want to think it. I don't want to think it. I want to be like, I wish it was just one big party in the universe. I was like, oh yeah, we know about that planet. They got people there. This planet, they got that type of person. This
Right.
planet, you know, I wish it's just well known. I hope that's where we're at one day.
I hope I see it. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
I mean-
I want to see the first civilization, bro.
We're gonna be right on.
I want to see the
cusp.
first one to find it. You know what I'm saying? I want to be like, I mean, like,
Would
or
you
that-
go?
I feel like we're gonna be the ones found though. You
What
know?
if? But what if? Yeah, but then it's like, do you tell? Okay, so two questions. First, if you're the government, right, and aliens come and they want to talk to you, and they're like, we want to let you people know we exist. Coming to you first. What do you do? You know what I mean? What do? You have to kind of accept it, you
Well, I mean,
you
like,
have to,
that's if the people
dude. If
that
someone
make those decisions
shows
can
up-
even comprehend what's going on but in front of them.
right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
You're right.
Because that's
so
a human,
true.
That's a human being.
So true, bro.
Life form for
It's
that moment,
crazy.
you know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. It's crazy in our minds because we think of it like, wow, right? But the likelihood of it is high. Like it's like
Very
the likelihood,
likely.
the chances of us being the only ones are low. There's somebody somewhere, and if they figured out how to travel here
Yeah.
and drop down, you're absolutely right. Because that would be hard for me to process. Like, dude, I'm about to throw up. You know, like that's how I would feel. Like, bro, this
Like
like.
they're here.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, imagine if you were the first one to see that. Like, say, I guess you don't even got to be the president. Whatever you are, you're right where they land the first time. See, dude, like, you're just like, bro, this is a fucking movie, bro. What if it was on like a day like today? You know, it'd be like the worst day for us.
Your first
like, it's gonna be a lot of people's worst days, dude.
Yeah. Maybe. Or might be cool, bro. You know what I'm saying? They bring us a lot of cool shit.
Yeah, for some reason, I picture no matter what, this picture of them landing has to be destructive. I don't know why it just seems so fast.
I don't know if
They're like they're gonna hurt some land. they're gonna damage some land because they're just going too fast.
I love the population of people that are hanging on there. They're like, all right, I'm just waiting to fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoever lands here first,
I think
when can we fuck it?
that's how people are gonna think too,
You know
bro.
what I'm saying, man?
That's
It's like,
fucked
it's
up.
like, all right, like, now that we figured out they're
That's
cool,
me.
now that we figured out
We
they're
give you
cool,
LeBron.
they don't want to kill us. You know, like, can we
We
fuck them?
Show us your LeBron, bro. Because we got LeBron. And we're looking to mate.
The aliens.
It's like, bro, let's do this, bro, while you're here. What the fuck? You know? If it was only one ship that landed, you know what I mean? If it was only one ship that landed, you'd be like, fuck, better get our time in while it's here.
Yeah.
Better figure some shit out while it's here, right?
Yeah.
Like, who knows? It might be here for 30 minutes for all I know.
Yeah. Or how capable they are of like staying in this part of the universe or some shit. Like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
man.
it's like we can't even box in where their mind goes to, right? Because just having the
We can't-
ability,
it's limitless, really,
right?
bro.
Because just having the ability to come here,
Yeah.
that's already like, whoa, somebody's way past anything that we thought.
And then talking to that.
And then talking to that, and then you not
communicating
looking
and
like us too,
Yeah.
but being like clearly having a language. Your language wouldn't be our language,
it'd be a completely different language, bro.
but unless
Like
you're
crazy
studying
shit, you know what I'm
us.
saying?
You know, if you're really smarter, you
Bro,
could be
This
studying
is the thing I'm
us.
saying. Like,
But if you're like, say, like, what I'm trying to say, right, is like, honestly, if you're someone that can, like, if you
what
can
you're trying
tell,
to say is gonna be limitless.
if
you know what I'm saying?
yeah, right, if you're that, right? There's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do, right? But what I'm
Right.
trying to picture is like, what if there was another universe that's like right where we're at,
Okay.
right? Like right on that cusp of like, we're about to send people to another planet too. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If we did happen to land, like say if we just landed on another planet that was just like us, but we're like the first ones there, we managed it the first time. It's weird, but we got to take advantage of the time because you're the only one here. You know,
the
so
first
it's like,
species to do it.
yeah, so it's like I think we're supposed to mate. Like this is how life extends. Like it's like
dude,
it's weird, but
and
right.
then we send those alien children off to the universe to find more alien children.
Well, no. First thing we're gonna do, right, is like so you brought someone here to mate, so now we have to get some humans to you to mate.
That's how alien works.
That's what we have to do first,
That's
right?
how alien mates go work.
Well, that's what I'm thinking about, bro. It's insane, dude. Like interplanet race, like genetics. We're gonna have to pass, bro. It's gonna be insane because we are gonna have to do that.
I think about. Listen, bro. Hold on, bro.
So far. You can only go so far till a human dies. So until you figure out how warp travel, you're not gonna get anywhere, bro. You're not gonna get anywhere without warp travel.
So like, when I look at I look at how organic life has evolved here on Earth, and how that like any one of those life forms that we see out there could have been us. You know what I'm saying? So like,
but once again, that's just what we know, Steve. I'm just saying. I don't want to be that guy, but you get what I'm saying? There could be, if someone did land here, it's like, wait, what the fuck are you guys believing? Oh, no, there was this dude. He split us both into these planets. We were supposed to do this a long time ago. You guys weren't even trying. We're focused on, like, Kardashian.
I'm thinking of, like, how organic life manifested itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, an intelligent, organic life form might not even look like a fucking human, like anything like us, bro. It might be like,
it would be what it is to survive in its environment.
But that's what I'm saying.
It's just crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it comes through, but like, it's not even speaking language, it's just making clicking noises. But like, that's how its airway has been formed to make
its
that
esophagus.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's like we're just giving names to things that don't even exist to them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, like, we're like,
it's pretty crazy, ain't it?
How I feel right now is how like I would feel trying to explain
to an
alien.
Yeah, exactly. You're just like, look. So there's a Wendy's. We got extra large. America invented the 44 ounce Angus burgers. Why you got so and so? It's you're overwhelmed, bro. Yeah. I can't even imagine. So I guess my initial question though was
would you tell people?
What do you do, right? Because it's overwhelming. And so and all of those words.
What's the thing? Like, I don't think people could ever come up with like a good way to tackle something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But we have to be able to, right?
You'll never know what it is. You see their face, you know what I'm saying? Because like, you're like, wait, I was expecting 6 foot, like, you know, elvish looking creatures, bro. I have a floating jelly monster in front of me that's intelligent and can tell and
speaks in ink.
And can speak in my mind right now. Like, it can speak in my mind right now. Like, it's not saying anything, but in frequencies.
Oh, I'm getting the fuck out of here, dude. At that point, that's why you kill things, because you fear it. It was like, yeah. Pull out that fucking Glock. Switch that bitch to auto in your pie. As soon as you start talking in your head, you switch that bitch to auto, bro. I'm about to show this motherfucker the American way. It's like, put a 30 clip into his fucking squid belly. See if you can eat that, motherfucker. You should have at the wrong spot, bitch. You're scared, dude. You're scared, dude. You just let a 30 clip rip. And you don't know what to do. It's like someone just landed here, dude.
You fucked it up for the rest of the year.
I didn't know what else to do but rip a 30 clip. Like, what else was I supposed to do? Dude, someone landed here. A real fucking person landed in front of me.
Look. You, just like how you were worked up right there, like, I come to the scene and you're like, look,
I'm trying to explain it to you.
Exactly, man. I'm just
you couldn't, right? I couldn't even explain it to you. I'm like, dude, no, listen.
This guy's crazy.
Somebody actually touched the ground. Like, you know what I mean? And that, like I said, that for some reason I keep picturing this Hancock landing. Where it's just like, boom, but it probably wouldn't be like that. It'd probably be pretty sophisticated, like how a Mars rover lands.
Well, the way I've always thought about it was like how I've seen it, like, just in pretty much every video game where, like, one day it's fine, next thing you know, you just have this huge, massive, like, starship floating in front of you that dwarfs your planet,
dude,
or some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying?
But
like,
yeah, so you don't have enough money to feed the homeless guy on MLK, but you send a Chinese billionaire to the other side of the moon. If someone landed here, they're gonna be like, bro, you guys are just dumb.
Yeah.
You've got enough of everything. It's the perfect environment for you. Like, you guys are just really dumb. You created this money thing, and like,
you're just taking advantage of each other.
Exactly. Right. You're just really fun. You should be able to live on an honor system.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so, like, it's hard to imagine any other way of looking at life, like, other than from like a human perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where, like, Where it's like now as a human, it's like the way I've existed on Earth is by like pretty much surviving by any means. Where you're like, even if that means taking over that guy or taking over that guy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like in that, right? It's like we have such a low thought of like what human intelligence is. Like we just assume that if that's why I was trying to compare someone that was relatively like in our year of progression.
Right.
We assume that they're going to be so smart.
Yeah.
And that we're going to look dumb. But what if they are probably going to land here and be like, oh, you guys got that figured out? We were pretty much just focused on getting here. You guys got nuclear fusion figured out. Well, we're probably going to use that to get here.
And you friendships? Like
yeah, you know what I mean?
Like they didn't focus on like societal cultural things, you know what I'm saying? Like music and shit. Like they didn't focus on that. They just went all technology.
That's where you always end up with the God complex though, bro. Because you follow it to the end of like, why is there a planet? Why is there a sun? Why is there a universe? Why is life allowed in there?
Yeah.
And you got no other answer, bro.
Well, I mean, at one point, no matter what answer you get to, you're gonna reach an end point where you're like, okay,
it's God.
That's why that's there.
It's God. It's faith, basically. But then it's like, well, what are we even putting faith into, though? Like shit. I mean, it seems like if we all decide, right, if that's what it is, then just admit it, right? If that's what faith is, then let's just admit it and say, faith is that basically we're saying that at the center we don't have the answers, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay to say like we honestly don't know why. We need 60 degrees between 120 degrees to survive on this one planet that allowed this.
It's the false sense of security, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you get here, you're thriving. You know what I'm saying?
But like, we're just overwhelming ourselves kind of like too much. I think we just need to be more comfortable with the fact of like, we don't know. And it's okay to not know, bro. Like, we're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
At the same time, we're still dealing with war. We're trying to figure out if there's other living beings in the fucking... So we're looking through telescopes billions of light years at the same time that we're dealing with a war in Congo between two nations or something, like
all within our species
of just just happening
our
right
civilization,
here.
the human
So
civilization.
Like, I don't think we should be hard on ourselves to say like, what if it did take another 1,000 years until we really got to another planet?
Well, I mean,
that's not crazy, bro.
I mean, before we even get to that point,
it sucks.
Like for me, before we even transcend that point, it's like we have to then come to the agreement that like there will be a unifying power over the planet. You know what I'm saying? Like there'll be a body that rules over the planet.
But you cannot do that unless you speak through heads. Right? Because how could I rule? Like, how can I? This is what always flipped me out, right? Here's one thing that always weirded me out, right? People want to argue a lot of shit, right? But here's one thing that really always got me.
Besides all of it.
It's like people want to argue like borders, like should borders even exist or like certain laws? Like we argue about like so many laws down here as far as that go, but we made like mutual laws in space. Like you can't claim territory in space. That's why every time someone comes to the moon, you're just allowed to put another flag there.
Yeah.
It's just saying that you've been there basically. You don't claim the territory. You're not allowed to litter in space. You know what I mean? And you're not allowed to do one other test weapons. Right? So we made these agreements that basically out there, we don't do this.
Right.
Well, like, why did we make that agreement? Because if I'm trying to beat you, right? Is my main objective really in life to kill you? Because if it is, then I should be using space to kill you. I'm sorry to say it, right? But we shouldn't be making these agreements. Like every time you put a satellite up, I should try and shoot it down. If we're at a competition, are we really a competition? And that's all a bluff.
And that's the thing, like
for one big ass military budget.
And this is the problem, though. Is like if another civilization was to come to us, they'd be like, all right, who speaks for the humans?
Who would you say?
We would. It'd be an all-out war between
Nobody's
humans.
Gonna say Trump. Nobody's saying Trump, right? It's like Trump. No one, bro. I felt pretty confident with Obama. Like honestly. Like who would you really send to talk? Who would you really feel? Who would Stephen Baker want to talk to aliens if they landed here, bro?
Oh man, bro.
You know what I mean? Like that's insane.
Pick nobody.
That's insane, dude.
I
picture like, well, I'll be there with my boy Steve, I guess.
Well, I mean, like, and then that's the thing. Even with those figures that you look for, like you look to like do something in this case, they're having their speeches written for them. You know what I'm saying? It's like they don't even know.
Right.
Like they're not even sure. They're not even, like. As a human themselves, what the fuck they're capable of.
Right. Like, what's the breakdown when you do get to that point, right? When you are president, though, and they give you that space breakdown, like, what is it, though? Is it them just coming and being like, look, we really don't know what the fuck's going on? agreed not to dump shit, not to test weapons. Like
that,
you know what I
and then
mean?
there's something out there.
Yeah, there's definitely something out there, bro.
Do you want to find it or not?
Right, exactly. We're working on finding it, but we're not putting that much money towards it. But like, we're fucking with it. But we also got some problems here. So
I'm
we're
saying, like, we can't even.
It's just crazy though, right? Because so many problems should be solved right away once we established that we had the ability to go to another planet and see if there was other life. Like, so many things should have been answered to all humans throughout Earth, right? It should just be like, bro, we're just gonna make things work until we can meet everyone.
And this is something else that we might not even be able to realize yet, is that maybe we as humans are not able to, like, coexist with other humans. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not that race of people in this universe that are capable of doing that type of thinking and doing that type of thing.
But we've also did it enough to learn how to hot planet.
We're like,
you get what I'm saying? Like we've done it though. Yeah, we do it.
Yeah, but then I get to that planet, and what I know to do, I'm just like, exploit it. Like,
but the only way I can get you to do that is by money. Right? Because like if we were in a village, right, and I was the strongest, I couldn't beat you into doing math research for me every day.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna get you to, I wouldn't even trust your calibrations. Like so it's like we have to pay them for them to basically tell us if people are out there. And they don't even know. Like, can't we all just stop the bullshit with fighting each other because we're pretty sure people are out there, bro? Like that's like we want to spend all of our money and resources on finding that out. Yeah, but we can't because we want to have $700 billion budgets to. Like,
we're trying to figure out.
But at the same time, we can't protect the veteran that's on the street. Bro, we can't give the veteran a house, but we got $700 billion fucking military budget.
Look, we all decided to make this microscope. It was pretty cool. We could see everything. But anyway,
we put a microscope in space.
Oh fuck, man!
We went to the other side. Like that's the thing. Like that's what makes me think. Like someone told them that they weren't allowed to do some shit out there, bro.
And go beyond the planet,
like, or like it's like they did some things and like something told them. Maybe they didn't. Maybe it's some way, one way or another. They told humans, right? They told someone one day, "Listen, we don't test weapons up here." Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
Like they come back down. Like,
they don't test weapons up there.
Don't do that shit up there, bro.
They said no. And everybody else is like, okay, we're just gonna pretend they didn't exist. We're gonna pretend that we didn't even. It's like, oh, we're not gonna test weapons in space because that's what we came up with. That like you're trying to convince people in this boat that like you still got the control. Because I just don't understand how we all came to an agreement. You get what I'm saying though with that? Like, how did everybody in the world just agree we don't test weapons in space? But I want to kill you if we're at war. Why wouldn't I go to fucking space to try and kill? Why wouldn't I shoot down your satellite? I need a missile in space. It's kind of crucial.
There's something else working behind there to like kind of like get it going.
Like straight up space battles, dude. Yeah. Like it's gonna be space warfare.
Yeah, I mean, like straight up. I mean,
but there's not enough space, in the atmosphere. Like there's enough space in the universe, but there's not enough space in the atmosphere for everybody to have nuclear satellites and plus also do research and shit. Listen. We have so much junk, bro. How are we gonna get this junk out of here?
So like the way I look at it is like as much as my stuff, like my mind comes up with like different things and different scenarios, like. The universe is so big that it's all possible. Like that's crazy.
But just think about how much shit is just chucking around us right now.
That we put there.
Yeah, just so much fucking metal and shit, bro. Bodies, probably everything, dude. Just fucking circling around that shit. We got to figure out what we're gonna do with that eventually, right? Like we just keep pushing it off, That seems sort of. I
don't know what they're doing about it.
Doesn't that seem what we're doing with every generation, though? Where it's like
from my
it's hard to make these decisions, right? You're going to lose money if I say no fossil fuels.
Yeah.
You're going to lose billions of dollars.
Yeah.
But this is what it takes for us to survive on this one planet we know we got.
And that's the thing.
Why fuck it up?
So listen, bro. So with that's what we did as people, though. Like, so like
why can't we make an agreement?
That orbit that for our different shit up there, like it's split up. Like it's like America has this amount of orbit space around their planet. And this is our territory. That's where we control it. And it's like the China can do it over here. Like this is like. And there are even some people were just like, no, you don't have no say in that. There's
It's like,
5 people that
but
talk
it's
about.
really just.
There's real 5 countries that talk about space.
But think about what really gave you that power to say, like, what gave you that power as a country to say that you deserve a satellite in space, right?
I found it out.
Right? You found it out, right? So you get to put it in there. But like, not one person can do that. You get what I'm saying? That takes a coalition of 1,000 people to do the math on that. Then the people that build the iron to make the suit, the astronauts.
That's why you mobilize all that with your
all
funding
the
and shit, with all your money. You're just like, look, you take all these crazy minds. You're like, look, you're gonna build me some crazy shit to kill that guy. This is like,
but we're not gonna go far enough as to do something in space. You get what I'm saying? Like
that's happening, bro.
I guess I keep trying to make like a mockery of it because it's a mockery to me. If like I'm trying to kill you, I'm going to figure out how to do it through space. That seems the best way. Like you rely on GPS, eliminate your GPS. That seems like the first thing I'll do. Like, you gotta invent an EMP because we agreed to not do it in space, basically. You know what I mean? Like there really should be EMP in space for your satellite that even allowed that EMP to work. But we agreed we won't do it in space. We only do it down here. So you got to figure out shit to work within orbit, basically. You know, that's so weird. It's like we established we're gonna kill each other, but we're putting rules on it. Like there's no rules, right? To me, if I'm China or something, I'm just like, I'm going. I'm gonna just a nuke in space. You know what I'm just saying? Going and fuck them. Fuck them. I shoot my nukes in space, bitch. Ain't nobody never like. Because imagine like, just how you're saying the first person on the planet, right? You be the first country. So say like we were up there, right, with our astronauts the first time, and someone really did visit us, bro, and was like, we don't do that shit here, right?
Yeah.
You're still only one country.
Yeah.
So you go back and you tell everybody, like, look, they said we don't do shit up there, but they don't believe you. So they're like, oh, we're going to go up there and we'll find out if a motherfucker says something. Yeah. And we're going to shoot nukes until someone says something, you know? It's like, and then you come back down and it's like, they said no nukes up there, dude. And we all agree to just be in this little fucking bubble on Earth of like, yeah, who has the most power? Oh, I don't know. Whoever can put a satellite in space. But I can also beat your head in with a rock. Like, it's so crazy, bro. You have the ability to put a war. You have the ability to put something to send lasers up into space and tell a nuke to shoot me and my people. But I can beat that little mathematic, astronaut guys. That's 5'9". Astronauts are very small. They're like 5'9", 150. They're not our best people that we're sending, bro. Like I can bash his head in with a rock. Like that's the dude that you're like he has the power to put a nuke in space. Like I just think that's a lot. I think that's something that if we made agreements on space like that, we should have made an agreement off the jump as like no one has the say so to put anything in space. You get what I'm saying with that? Like why it's just so what I'm trying to get to, right? It's like what allowed that vote, right? It's not people in numbers, because if people in numbers, China would win everything. Right. But we also have like enough weaponry to where we offset your numbers. Yeah. So now we're kind of even and we're like, we're putting one in space. And they're just like, we're putting one in space. And now we don't really know, like, how far are we going to let them go? And then there's other countries just like space, like you said, like we're trying to figure out how to feed, people and shit.
And you think about the resources. So like, so hold on, real quick. Some particularly think of like America, where like they just made a huge military. You know what I'm saying? They're like, look, we don't even have all the people they got, but we have twice as much machinery as they got.
But think about if all that was done in fear. Because of the first time we went to space and someone was like, bro, don't come here again. Yeah. And we're just like, put billions into the best weapons we can find. Because we don't know what else to say, guys. Like, what if that's really what it is, though? Like, is that they don't want to admit that there's someone that could just squash us, bro. Yeah. Like, we know that there's someone there. We hear it in our heads when we go to space, but we never seen them.
As people, you want to keep, as a human, and the way our brain works, you want to keep asking it, why? But then you get the answer. Like,
that's why I knew the Grancy, remember? Yeah. Remember when he flipped out? Yeah. He's like, you keep asking why, Joe? But there is no why. Because just you ask him why gets rid of the why. You know, like, why would an organism in the middle of space even care to find out why his laser went up there and binged back? You know, like,
Exactly.
why? Why? We could go forever
Yeah.
on whys.
Exactly.
We don't fucking know is the truth. So we put 700 billion into military weapons because we're afraid that something out there is much bigger than us. We can't. We all know that, but we won't say it to each other. So we just try to pretend to be the biggest people here. You know what I mean?
You're the first person to ever say this. You're just like,
I'm trying to break it down to this country.
Exactly.
I'm like, look, we're all just pretending to be a big man here, but we all can admit that we know something's out there that could squash us, right? We all can admit that. And now we're all trying to be the biggest guy here because we're afraid now.
Yeah.
But let's all just admit that we're afraid. And it doesn't even mean that aliens are out there to harm us, but you have to take it as a human and in the village, in the jungle, survive. And you got to treat it like that. And you got to treat it like anything that's coming could be an enemy. And that's how you got to prepare.
100%.
Right? So
100%.
that just is what it is. So let's just all agree that something is out there, dude. Let's stop lying and let's just put all of our billions towards figuring out what the fuck is out there and preparing for that. But like, we can't do that for some reason, you know? It's like,
you don't know what that is. So what do you put it into?
but we can
You know
all
what I'm saying? So like, so,
right,
just,
because
so we just keep going. Oh, space. We just keep sending stuff out to space.
But I feel like it's like now, like thinking more into it, it just seems like everything else is then a counterproduct to make you not think that. You know, now everything is a counterproduct to make you believe the opposite.
Right.
So then I create religion, right? Where I just say there's no one out there. Why would you even look? We are it. You know what I mean? I give that to the people so like they don't even want to think there's somebody that can squash us out there. You know, you're worried about like, can you fuck the next door neighbor? You know, but someone's like thinking about if they could squash a planet. What the fuck? It's just like a crazy diagram of like, we don't know. Like,
so like
that's the best thing to say is that we do not know what the fuck is going on.
But it would.
Let's
also,
stop it. Let's stop pretending we do, dude.
Right.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Let's just stop pretending that we got answers, right?
Yeah.
Like that's for everybody.
Yeah.
We don't know. Like, I don't know. We think it's God, but we don't know. But we did go up there before and they said, don't do this. But we don't know if that's God or something else that was created by God or not, or created but by not God. You know, like there could be someone else out there that's not created by God. You get what I'm saying? That's how we're believing.
Yeah.
You know, but if we all agree that like if something's out there, it had to be created by the same person that put us here. You see what I mean there?
They would expand that from
so
that
then
point on.
Why would we even be worried about that? You know, it's almost like, well, if we're making all these agreements, dude, there's a God. If we're making all these agreements of like, okay, why are you putting this part of there to live this life and make this happen with this planet? And this is really messy. But then like you're all the way over here and like you're putting this part of the solar to grow that flower, basically,
Okay.
you know, to make that go. It's like your job isn't even to worry about if someone else is out there. Like if we all agree in that aspect that there's a God, I put you there to take care of that spot.
Right. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So like, why are you worried about leaving? It's very weird, bro. I'm like, how we can't come to an agreement. You know what I mean? Like we all kind of know that like, obviously we're not the only ones out. We're not the only ones here.
It's almost like being like stuck in like purgatory almost. We're like as like a human species, as a race, as a collective, we're all like, how are we trying to move on to that next, like we're calling like the next stage, dude. You know what I'm saying?
And then there's like, but then there's like this one human out of every billion humans, right? Who has like this mind to like play, to use this, right? This fear that we have on this planet against everyone else, right? And that's like your Rockefeller, right? Your Rothschild.
To use it, yeah.
Like they took this main thing that we were gonna need, basically, and they manipulated it to make it this.
Well, it's
and
like,
everything.
Well, they were the first to understand it too.
Yeah, well, so like when it comes to
you're
that,
the first to understand it as well, it's like,
bro, when you're the first to conquer, you're the first to write.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Period. Because whatever you if I conquer you, I eliminate your history.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm history now.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro. So it's like, that's why I have such a hard time even believing when we say like we've been here 10,000 years. It's like, I don't know how we're making those agreements and who's making that agreement.
We've been here that long, or just like, it's just,
Yeah, who are you to even say that it was that long, you know? Or that you even should be moving anywhere. It's very crazy. It's like, what I'm saying is like, it's crazy how there's this big contradiction on the planet, right? Like, can we all agree, right, that we're in competition? Or can we all agree that we were put here, right? Oh, but I don't believe in God, right? Because you don't want to believe in Christianity, right? Because that's placed there, and we've got a bad,
I'm just watching you work through these things yourself. I'm just like, okay.
right. So we've got a bad notion. We've got a bad notion of really what religion is because of how we view Christianity. Because that's how we view it, and that's what we got based around it. But the reason there's so many religion is because there clearly is a God. I think that's what I'm getting to, bro. Yeah. It's like, that's why there's so many religions, because there's clearly a God, but we're just manipulating it into all these different forms and focus in so many different ways instead of us just coming to an agreement of, we don't have to have a certain way, right? You don't have to face the sun at 9 o'clock, right? Yeah. You don't have to come here twice on Sundays and 5 times on Wednesdays and eat a piece of bread or something. Right. It's just, we all know that we were fucking put here and that something bigger out there, and we don't know what it is, and just admit that. Admit that to everyone.
But see, that's the thing. That's kind of like the next step in consciousness.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like to move from.
It's very crazy trying to
move from like
work it with my dumb mind.
Because,
you know,
like you're working out for the first time.
Yeah, I'm like trying to work it out in my mind. It's like overheating me. Like,
I'm
just like trying to like work that out in my mind of like, how do we come to an agreement
on how to tackle what's in front of us, you know what I'm saying?
Listen, what I think I'm getting to, right, is that we both, okay, so let's just go to 2 humans right here. So we can go 2 humans, and obviously this isn't every human's perspective. But like us right now, we agree that we're probably not the only ones in the universe, right?
Yeah, right. And that'd be a pretty big consensus.
Right. And we both agree that like we don't have the answers to a lot of shit. Like we said, like why you keep asking why. Yeah. You follow it to a spot where you go like, okay, well, if fucking the planet did need a structural atmosphere of 1,000 cubic, pounds of pressure, and it had to be perfectly between 60 degrees and 90 degrees with precipitation of 3 and a water-based ground level of 70% to form an organism to eventually make a conscious decision on that planet. Like, that's very big to fucking think there, but if we can all agree that, like, even if we go above that, well, who put that there? Right?
Yeah.
God.
That's the next question.
Who else, bro? Who put that there? Like, even if we do figure out, like every time I bring up like life, you're saying like it's so like we can't. You're saying like it's very rare for life basically to have a spot for it to form, which is true.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? It's very true. But if we all make the agreement that we were put here, right, for some reason, because we can't figure out why we're allowed to grow here. We can't figure that out. So we just have to like, not even have to, but it's like, it's true almost. It's like, it's weird how my hands are feeling with it. Yeah. It's just true that you, like there is something there that even allowed you to be between these degrees to create that organism to eventually make a conscious decision with its fucking membrane.
Exactly
neurons,
right.
Which is insane, but something still had to do that. We can agree that there's always going to be somewhere where you get to the point where you go, I don't know. Like, so why? I feel like from there, what that's God, right? So God makes sense. Right. But when we think of God, like you're happy to say, I don't believe in God. Right. Like we're happy to say that. Right. Because we're embraced with that, to say like, I don't believe in God. But we're not saying
it's just the notion of what God is.
If we were talking
humans,
right, because if we were talking to a faith warrior, right? If you were talking to a faith warrior, right,
right,
you would be like, I believe in God. I believe that something allowed me to create from here, but it's not the Jesus that you gave me, right? So we say, I don't believe in God, but like we do believe in God. You get what I'm saying? Like we all agree. Everyone on this planet agrees that someone even allowed this.
Yeah.
Now, whatever we want to debate from there, if it's fucking Taoism, Confucianism, Christianity, Muslim, whatever, someone allowed all this.
And that's the thing. And that's what I'm saying. Like, as a human collective, that's like the next great conscious leap.
Yeah.
Or like it's like
we don't have the
think
answers.
beyond of like what is spoken between me and you right now. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all we can see is what's between me and you right now.
And we don't know, right? At the same time, we
Exactly.
don't know because it's like I'm saying right now, like
this works for me, but doesn't work for
if
them.
we all make that agreement, though, that like we're put into this planet, we're put into spot in the universe, right, to grow your right.
It's chill, bro.
You're put into this spot of this universe,
right,
to grow this flower, right? And we all mutually agree on that. Well, then we shouldn't even try the hot planets. What's the point of me meeting you? I'm supposed to be here. You get what I'm saying? So then, but like we can't accept the image of God because of like our human complex of like me and you don't want to allow like another man to have that, right?
Yeah.
Like we don't want another like, oh no, there's one guy who did all this. No, there's not one guy who did
which is
all
why
this.
Which is why you're all fighting over it too, man.
That means it's work though. Like what they were trying to do, what Rockefeller and them were trying to do, the 1 out of billion humans that would prey on that evil, it's working, you know, because of how you view it right there.
It's working,
you know,
it's
right.
Like it's a blocking idea. It's a blocking idea from you to expand past that.
Yeah, they're clouding. They're clouding beyond that. Exactly,
because we are beyond that.
We are, and that should have been an easy agreement. That's what I'm trying to say. Is that should have been such an easy agreement of like, okay, well, we realized you guys got all of these answers, but when it gets back to the single answer of we don't know why it was even allowed for this planet to spin around this star.
Yeah.
We don't know why that was allowed. Oh, there was a Big Bang. Well, what was before the Big Bang? The Big Bang. Oh, it's like there was a bigger bang. You know, it's like, well, we want to believe in a God, but we don't want to believe in a person that does that. And that's how we've been misconstrued. That's what Rockefellers did to make that into one image. Where that's not an image. It's like that's where it almost comes back to we are God. You know, so like we are God.
We're not.
So it's like we shouldn't be chasing that.
Yeah.
It's just an acceptance that everybody in this universe is an expansion of this life. Don't even worry about debating this, you know, like that's why I did this, is so you can just live, you know, your lives and your spot in the universe, and whatever comes of years. But like you know, like it wasn't a man. What I'm like, my egotistical mind wants to create a man that said here, you know, they said here to the universe, basically, like. Here's ultimate life, right?
Yeah.
But I don't want to, but that's not a man's image. Like, why am I putting a man's image on that? You get what I'm saying? That's like, that's nothing more than just like energy out of the air. It's like a man didn't make that decision. A woman, a human didn't make that decision. It just like
happened.
It just
what that
comes
what
of
is
life.
that?
And like, we're all spending all this time trying to explain it when the answer is like, we don't know why that happened, bro. We don't know why. It's better to spend more of our money and our resources to embrace it at this point. We don't know why. We keep getting farther. We keep looking farther into space. We keep seeing more comets. We keep going to other planets.
And so you come
at the end of the day, we don't know why.
Yeah, get over there. You celebrate Christmas differently this way and do it this way. That's fine. We can get past that now. Everyone does their shit differently. They celebrate shit differently. They look at things differently. But now we need to transcend beyond above that and like what's right. And tackle what's out there.
But there's so many people. It's like, how do we all make that agreement, right? That's why when people say like
it's the next big
when people
step
say
of civilization.
like good can never win, you know, or evil never prevails, right? It's both. You have sayings for both sides because it's yin and yang of that, right? And if you think about trillions of people, 99% of them are good people, right? That we all can kind of come to that agreement of like, we don't know what it is, man. We should just work together. But then there's like that 1% of evil,
and
right?
they mobilize that.
And their advantage is that they will prey on what we don't think is moral code. They will break that moral code. And that's why the little 1% is able to seem like 50%. That's why that's why in your mind, you see it as, oh, for every good person, there's a bad person, but that's not true. For every bad person, there's 99 good people. But that person's willing to break moral and ethical codes that we've designed as humans that we won't break.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like we've said as America that we're not going to work 13-year-old children. Like let's not even try to figure out why we established money and all this right now, right? But we're not going to work 13-year-old children. But China's like, we're working 13-year-old children.
We're gonna work them. Yeah, we're gonna work them. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
we're gonna do it.
Yeah, we're gonna work them.
We're gonna work. They want to work. You know what I'm saying? They want to eat. We're gonna work them. We're gonna put them to work. We're providing for them.
It's like how do we make that conscious leap of us all just because you're always going to have a part of evil. You get what I'm saying? Like you're always going to have evil that's going to break these moral codes that we establish. And that's how they fight on a level playing field,
but this is how
they break the rules, bro.
But this is how
that's how evil works.
Yeah. But listen, that's what I'm saying. But like
evil breaks the moral codes.
That's why I think
that we've established as humans, bro. We've established a Declaration of Independence as humans. We did this before when we were on psychedelics. Remember, we're like, okay, well, let's say if you're born, like, what's 3 things we can agree on? It's like you don't rape, right? You don't, and that includes like rape the resources, and you don't murder.
Right.
Like we can all agree that we don't need to murder each other and we don't need to rape each other, at least, right?
Well, we know that. Well, that's the thing. We know that's not the answer because, like, I mean, like, we've come to this point. That's what we've done forever. You know what I'm saying? That's what we've done forever. Like, we've gotten to this point where it's like we gotta get by something, but it's like that constant.
It's like we're
bickering back and forth.
It's too far though at this point. Like, how did it get this far? You know, like how did it get this far of such a construed image of like?
Well, because at the end of the day, like you have to mobilize like your mind. You're only one physical link. You know, to the matter, you know what I'm saying? To the mental matter.
But like, think about everything I just said.
You have to link those other down. You know what I'm saying?
Think about all the numbers I just said, right? So when you're thinking about a Rockefeller, right, or a Rothschild, that's the 1 in trillion of humans, right? But he broke the moral codes that we established, right? And that's what allowed him to create whatever he wanted from there. Well, he was a bad person already. So he's only going to establish things that fit his mindset from there on, which would be like, oh, I'm going to give him Jesus. You know, and now look at what Jesus is, whether it's true or not, right? It's the fact of like, it's debated, should slaves even had Christianity? Should they not have had Christianity? Now you're not even debating slavery. You're debating like, should they, was the Bible a tool for slavery? You know? And it's like,
you drive those wedges. You keep driving those wedges deeper.
But why do we allow like one little, like I'm saying, it's like the 1% of people. Most people are good people. Yeah. We all want good things for each other.
That just might be how easy humans are, bro.
But that might be how easy humans are. We have to stop that, though, right? With the big look, bro. We're gullible. We're gullible. Like we can't let evil people infiltrate our political systems and, you know, our school systems or anywhere because we have to just make these agreements as people. That's what I'm saying.
We have to make it ourselves because we're waiting for them to do it.
Yeah, but listen, that's where it starts is us. But really, you want to hope that, like, as a humankind, we can, you know, that we can make these kind of agreements to ourselves. It's like they're never gonna. It's too far. They're never gonna push that.
Right.
So at this point, we're all just trying to break it like together. But we clearly can see that like it's not the case. Like, but we keep buying into it. You know, it's very weird.
And we can't.
Why do we allow this small fraction of people to just? They got the most money quickly, right? Like if you're thinking about a Rockefeller or a Rothschild, right? That's like a Soros,
when
right?
You say that it's the mentality.
That's the mentality. It doesn't mean necessarily that family, but like those are the families who like the first ones that established banking.
Exactly.
The first person to establish oil. It's like things that was pried on throughout Earth, you know, and was able to become the first person with that much power. Well, they're gonna write things that favor them. You get what I'm saying? So that or Christianity could be a real thing. Like that could be a real man's story, but they're going to bend that because they've already got $1 billion. And it's like, I'm an evil person. I don't care about good people. You get what I'm saying? Good people got $1 billion. And there's 1,000 good people, right?
Right.
With no money. And there's one bad person with $1 billion. I print all the Bibles. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I print the Bible. So it's like whatever I want to tell you from there is up to me. How do we allow one small fraction of human to do that to us and go this far? It seems like this should have happened 100 years ago. You know, like the hippies were definitely on to something. You know,
that's the thing. Like again, we just can't agree what that is. And like where it's like someone's like, okay, look, I don't know what it is, but this is what it needs to be. And then like and be like, okay, that's cool. And me come join your side. Because you know what I mean? Like you need everyone. You know what I'm saying?
But there's these things. That's what I'm trying to say, though. That's why I always say moral code. Because it's like, it's this thing that's like, we didn't even invent it, Steve. It's not, you don't have a moral code. I don't have a moral code. There's a moral code.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't stomp a baby's head in. You get what I'm saying? But an evil person would stomp a baby's head in. You know, so that always gives them the advantage. If you let them tell the history, they're going to tell stomping babies' heads in. But everybody else on this planet doesn't view it like that. And we all know we don't view it like that. I agree that I shouldn't kill you. You know what I mean? And I agree that I don't even want to kill like the little thing that's living. I don't want to kill the ant in my house.
Yeah.
I can agree on that. But like we still are fighting each other. You know what I mean? Like we can't just, as a whole entire planet, just go like, look, we don't know where the fight's at, but it's not here. You know, the fight isn't here.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be fighting over land or resources or anything. Like one world order might actually have to be a real thing, bro. Like maybe that's not a bad thing.
And that's what I'm saying. Like for people to accept that, then is now the next bet. This is the next step that you move towards.
One world order might not be a bad thing. Like I don't know if that's even a thing that you're allowed to say.
But that's the thing.
Like is that a thing that's even said?
Let's talk about it real quick. Hold on, because you've just gone some long tirade that whole time. Let me actually talk for a little bit. So when it comes to things like that, it's like you then have to, people then accept that there will be at one point a unifying voice order over the planet to then take it forward as the human race. You know what I'm saying? But
what are we waiting on? Someone to say that? Another human?
Well, I think maybe we haven't met that thing yet.
Okay.
For us to be like, okay,
Steve.
Yeah, we need to meet that thing.
Steve. So it's human to human, right? We both in our minds admit that we haven't met that thing, right? Agreed. So let's stop pretending that we did or anything, right? We both are just like, we haven't met that. We don't know what that is.
Right.
But me and you can admit, like, living here right now, that we don't know what it is, but I shouldn't kill you. You know what I mean? Like, so it seems like no matter what, it should be a joint effort from there to figure out whatever that is that we don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and then we have like, I mean, that can go on for days of like that argument of like, well, why is DMT even in you? You know, because DMT's in you, but then that's literally in the roots of Earth.
Yeah.
You know, so like you're technically like you are Earth in that aspect.
Well, yeah, you're so the very conscious,
but you're metals too. You know what I mean? Like,
so
like,
that's the thing. The very conscious at work is itself. Like, I mean, like only like it's trying to.
Right, it's trying to explain itself.
We're in that seed right now where we're trying to explain
itself.
You know what I'm
right,
saying? Exactly. Because we don't know.
Right, it's crazy.
And then, so when that other thing comes out to put that perspective, we're able to make that leap.
It's like atoms are moving right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like atoms are moving.
I'm just looking at you right now.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to explain you. You get what I'm saying? I'm trying to explain like another human, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know. Anywhere, let's just say there is no Earth, right? There's nothing's here right now. Me and you are just floating in all darkness, right? In the middle of space. I don't know nothing else, but you're right here, Steve. You're all I got. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
You're all I got. So whatever it is, whatever you say, you get. I don't even want to argue that, you know, because I'm so scared of us not agreeing on something.
So I take the lead. I'm just like, all right, you know, and it's just kind of
it's like, well, something put us here. Yeah, something put us here. Yeah, it's like,
but that's the two sides of humans.
But if the first person that does that is a bad person, then they're establishing it from the footprint there, you know.
And that's the very
like, what if I realize I can lie to you?
But
I realize I can lie to you, bro. When you go, did someone put us here? I go, no, but I know someone put us here. Like I remember, but you don't. You know, I'm evil. I'm playing on the evil side. You don't know that. You're just trusting me right now. That I'm going to be good to you as a friendship, as a human, you know?
Right.
But like, you don't know that. We're just, because we've established this moral code. As I'm saying, it's not yours. It's not mine. It's just a moral code, right? Of like, oh, okay, I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be alone in the universe. You don't want to be alone in the universe. We don't know what is anything.
And another thing,
so let's start here.
Another thing. You don't want to think about it by yourself.
Right,
you know
exactly.
You don't want to think about it by yourself either.
Okay.
You want another mind to come
First thing first, let's all admit. Let's all get together. Let's all admit we're fucking scared.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Exactly.
That's the first step, I feel like, bro. It's just That's a big. That's
You
all.
got,
We don't
gotta
gotta
find
find.
people, man. Exactly. Like
Just let that off our
of
shoulders.
who,
We don't need an answer. Just let that off our shoulders, bro. As a humankind, let's just let that one off our shoulders. We don't.
it's so weird because that's how the brain works. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
because we're programmed to be like, who the fuck put you? But it's like, well, if the end all be all answer was you put you there, then you wouldn't have cared the whole time.
Exactly.
You wasted
exactly
that little bit of energy
and
in that spot of the
you
universe.
told me this.
that
And listen,
day.
hold up. And then
But
you
then you play
listen,
memories
listen,
out
bro.
on such a long chart of things.
That's what I'm saying. Like we would both come to this understanding and be like, all right, I can try to tell the next guy, but really what we need to do is just like you just gotta get him to blindly follow you. You know
Well,
what I'm
I was
saying?
thinking, like, what if we were having this talk right now, right? And we were like up Deep Creek, and there was like 8 people right there, and like everyone we're with, they don't listen to us talk like this.
Exactly,
They're not thinking like that.
Yeah.
And then we tell them that, and they're like, yeah, bro, we don't know. Seems pretty easy that we should all make an agreement. We don't really know, but we definitely shouldn't be fighting each other. Like, that seems like an easy dub.
Yeah.
That's the easiest dub of all time, bro.
Right.
It's just agree that we shouldn't fight each other because that makes no sense.
Not at
Well,
all.
if we
nowhere.
all are agreeing something put us here, we don't know why, then we all have a mutual enemy. You get what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck has power over
Yeah.
us then? We all need to put our resources. Okay, the power, whatever that is, they're allowing us to function for this amount of time. Try and figure it out. You know what I mean?
Though, but that's the thing. They've already have it figured out.
But they already got
it
it figured out.
Exactly.
So they're never going to allow you to go past the point of figuring it out. Because they would squash that.
Yeah.
But what is that? That doesn't allow it, Steve? You get what I'm saying? Who in the universe
stops that?
Don't think about a human, right? In the universe, what other beam of energy right now in all of the universe deserves a say over the universe more than you? Because it'd be a god. But then that means you're putting that on one person. You get what I'm saying?
So a god.
So we can't, but none of us want to do that. And all of us can agree we don't think it's one person. So what's that mean? Well, it's probably all of us then. It's probably
that's what I'm saying. It's the collective.
We are God.
We are
God. Stop spending all of our time trying to figure out which God is right, and just agree that we are God.
You were you and me, and like we need to go.
And we're gonna work from here
together.
And it doesn't. And I'm good. I can root for the Orioles, and you can root for the Yankees. But at the end of the day, as humans, we know. Oh well, there might be other shit out here that we need to be working on today.
Yeah.
When I'm not worried about, like, there should be no Comcast and Verizon. There should just be a Comcast or, a one world order. Is like, it kind of does make sense.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
right?
That's
like,
it
should just be one.
That's the thing. Listen,
it should just be one company.
And the
one,
same thing,
but that's ran by the people of the
world.
One
moment, bro. Hold on.
Right.
Because, like, the whole thing you try to wrap your mind around is that, like, we would have to then come to agreement that one particular person and stuff would do all that, bro.
Right. But we all can make this agreement, right? We all can make this agreement.
We've done that. We've done that, bro.
Here's the weird thing.
We live side by side every day and don't hurt each other because we're Americans.
But here's what I'm saying, Steve. Is like,
step outside that.
You can be on the other side of the planet. We never have to meet up and sign documents to agree on this. You get what I'm saying? Like, not everyone has to talk to each other to be able to agree on this. Right. It's like, this is something that you're trying to establish for everyone to come, basically. And it's the fact that, look, we're not worried about trying to find a God no more. We've accepted we are God, right? So at this point, what follows our expectations of, okay, what do we want,
numbers,
right?
But
I still want Wi-Fi. Yeah. I still want to play games online. I want those things. You want that, right? So we need a Comcast, right? Well, there should be one that's ran by a localized world of government. That's
the thing, bro.
That's what it has to be, bro. But listen, it has to be that. It has to be that, bro. And we're gonna have to figure out a way.
We gotta ditch it, bro, because it's the human civilization. We gotta become one homogenous race.
Yes.
Space-faring species.
Yes.
One species, bro.
Yes.
And we gotta move and step with each other. That's the thing.
But convincing them to just, for people to get what we're getting right here, right now, for people to accept that too, to go like,
you have the mind.
But Steve, that means you're not going to go to work tomorrow. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's what I always say to you. Like, that means you're not going to go to work. Because if it really is exactly what we're saying, we're just like, why the fuck would I go put in glass Monday?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I'm going to go print stuff out.
Why would I do that Monday? we should have all agreed that this
And,
isn't even
bro,
a necessity,
and
right?
bro,
And if
I'm-
it is, then it
the-
should just be
but like the one thing. So I'm printing. So the person that's created that to make the mass copies of information, then was involved in the next step of creating like what goes down in those mass steps of like copies and whatnot.
exactly.
You know?
If you're the first person to write the Bible,
Yeah.
dude, who proof checked you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then
Who proof checked the guy that wrote the Bible, bro? No one.
But it's not. But not only that, but like
He's just a checker
also,
of facts.
but also, it's like, look, it's also you come to me. I'm like, I don't even care about the facts. I just figured out a way to distribute information at a crazy level.
But this is where
you know what I'm saying.
But listen,
that's
right?
where
I
humans
get you.
start
I
working
get you.
together. You know.
But to me, I'm not thinking like that as this type of human, right? In my human mind, I'm thinking, well, why are you thinking like that? You know, I'm thinking like, why are you worried about trying to find some way to make money off of me? Like me, lies don't even exist. Because why would you lie to me if you're here? Well, you are me. Why would you lie to me? You should only say things that are going to benefit me, right?
Right.
But then there is people who
that's
lie to you, though.
Yeah.
And there is people who would kill you. You
But
get what
it's
I'm
like
saying?
Yeah.
But
like you have to unify with that person as a.
But at any time throughout the universe, that person could be the person that's right out front your door. You know what I mean? Like 900
and just squish you, bro.
Listen,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
999 million of us
so-
can all agree on that there's a God, and there's one guy who's like right out front right now that's bigger than us,
and he's having the same conversation about what to do with that part
he's
of the
like,
universe.
I don't want that thought.
He's like,
You know, so he squashes it, you know, and just makes it whatever he wants, bro, because he wins this little war of like being able to it's like you shouldn't even be worried about what history is. You know, it's like if you were just born, right? And
worrying about what history is then like worrying about like
listen, it's like you don't even, you know, I'm just like, I'm seeing it's such like an energy style now, bro. Where it's like you don't even need history, right? Because you're not gonna repeat something that's already played out. You get what I'm saying? It's already played out on this timeline. So you're not supposed to repeat it. You're just living what that energy is at this time. There is no history. Why are you worried about fossil fuels, you know? Or like, if you were born right now, see, this is where it fucks me up. Because like, if you're born right now and I gave you no objective, like, what would you do? Right? Like if I said you just start
living. You just start
right,
like,
what would you do?
You start focusing on your survival when you figure the survival aspect out of it.
We would get together.
You start thinking about
we would get together and we would be like, who the fuck put us here?
Yeah.
That's the first thing we would do.
But see, I get that. But like, so like that next thing would be safeguard by who figures out how to like,
yeah,
like, you know,
and
like
such
then,
like we're so burdened by like the only thin amount of information that we can pass from generation to generation. Because like obviously a human from 1,000 years ago, he probably could tell us a lot of things, you know, like when we've seen a lot of this shit coming. But through generation of generation, it's like that's so hard. It's almost like the universe.
It's humans developing. You know
what I'm trying to say is, yo, it's almost like the universe is designed to delete the files as they're imprinted. You get what I'm saying? Like as you write the file, it's meant to get deleted.
Exactly.
There is no history.
New slate. Then the new slate moves on.
Yeah, there is this. You already know the information that was consumed.
Exactly.
Right? You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, like you do have to learn it. But there should be seems like there should be a better way of teaching, right?
But,
like there should be some
like
there should be some type of language.
But learning that, but it's also like I still have to then exist all the time, so we have to figure out how to do and how let people exist all the time.
Because like we talked about before, how like language made it possible for me and you to communicate, but it created a barrier between like me and a Chinese man.
The next person, exactly.
Well, we can't communicate, but me and you can.
Yep.
So it helps us, but it don't help us.
I was saying, like Americans.
We need a one world order,
exactly.
bro. I never thought I'd say it, but I think that's the only way.
The next step of human civilization.
Yeah, I mean, there's too many people.
It's already
too. We know there's too many people.
Exactly. And then to move beyond that is to then be like, hey, we are one. We're now moving as one.
Yeah, exactly. We're moving as one.
But see, bro,
that's overcoming ego right there, right?
Exactly.
That's the squandron of ego. That's the squandron of capitalism. That's the squandering of so many things that are fueling today's world. But what I try to start all this off with, right, is that today's world is ridden by an evil person.
Exactly.
A person that would lie
Exactly.
to you. If I told that guy, right? So listen, I told Stephen Baker, right? What would you do? You're like, I'll just start living, right? If I told that guy, he sees you, he's thinking, how can he get you to do something?
How many things would so the first thing I'm thinking about is how many things I would put in your way.
Not everyone has the same moral code, you know?
Exactly.
So it's like, we just have to understand that most of us do. 99% of us all agree. We don't want to kill each other. We don't want to rape each other. We don't want to fucking work kids to death in coal mines, you know? Like, we can agree on all of this shit. We can agree on so much shit. And there's just this little 1% that, like, we want to argue the facts over. Why can't we just say we don't know, but then leave that out, focus on everything from there?
But that's then creating a decisive action, being like, hey,
that creates anarchy.
Listen, that creates his story. That's not the right way anymore, bro. This is how we're branching up forward.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's anarchy. It's whoever wins the war is going to tell the history.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there'll be a unified thing, but like at the end of the day, it's like, you know, it's like.
But that's why. So what I'm saying is that's happened many a time, Steve. Right.
Which is why you get to the one power thing, man.
But it's difficult for us to pass that along to generations, right? That happened before, probably 1,000 years ago. Listen, just wait, Steve. Just wait, Steve. How could someone from 1,000 years ago have told you this was going to happen again? You know what I'm saying? It's very difficult to pass information. We can agree that humans been around for 100,000 years, but we don't know anything about someone on the first year here.
Yeah,
we don't, because it's difficult to pass. So we created,
and we're sitting there arguing about what that first step is and where to start.
Instead of
just
being
what we're arguing about.
Well, we're like, okay, we established a language, so now we need to establish a language that everyone can read, right?
Exactly.
We need to establish it where you're taught English in school, but you're also taught.
But that's the thing.
This world language.
If I come up to this point from this part of the world, I'm just like, eliminate my language. This is the unified language now. You know what I'm saying? It's like I think my language got to figure it out. We got words for the feelings of existential dread and shit.
And
like,
I get what you're saying, right? Because we've allowed it to go too far.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Steve, this is where the bad shit's gonna come, where sometimes good has to get evil to win.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, well, look, like I've explained to you before. I'm like, I try to do the village mentality, right? You're saying that your language matters, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, you're only 10 out of 100. Right? Where 90 of us are saying we are going to agree on this language.
Yeah.
Is it the right thing or not? Yeah. Who knows, right? But we're all agreeing this is what we're going to say. And you're the 10% that's saying we're not going to go upon that because of your...
Well, it's also the human, though, where it's like, you know what the next step is? Eliminate. You know what I'm saying? And that's the human. That's the next human.
Because it's fear, though. It's its own fear. It's its own fear of us. We don't even want to work together to try and figure out what it is because we're afraid of what the answer might be. Of just what the fuck did we even waste our time trying to figure out? You know what I mean? It's just a bunch of nothing right there because we were already put here by that energy to be here. We weren't supposed to figure out why we're here.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
We're just meant to come and exist in a manifestation, but like when.
We're not meant for warfare, right?
But hold up. But the beginning of that train of thought that you're having is like, that's the beginning of it all right there. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like the very speckle of humans being in the universe is very small. We're at such a intense beginning stage. You know what I'm saying? Now it just happens to be the arguing stage of what might be correct, but that's us also working out what we're going to agree upon eventually, you know what I'm saying? But that's also accepting that, like, me doing that would be, I stomp that viewpoint out.
It's very difficult, right? But it's difficult, right? But
I didn't have to eliminate that.
But listen, I know, right? And you're not supposed to use this because even me trying to find the answer to that is me using that.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying, right? So I'm not trying to do that, right? But work with me because it's the only way I can explain it, right?
Yeah.
Is the fact of like, but we're agreeing that we don't know. That's the first step. We don't know, dude.
Yeah.
But this is what we're agreeing that we're going to try and tell history like this for now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we think that let's just admit that we don't know, bro.
Exactly.
But just say, like, look, so we think, right? We're trying to get, obviously there's 7 billion of us. There's a lot of us.
You're trying to get all these minds.
We're trying to get us all together.
Bro. It's a collective of a human.
Right. But we can get, but people listen to leaders, right?
Yeah,
Not
and that's the thing.
Not everyone is meant to be a leader.
But and
right?
exactly,
So
and those
certain
leaders come
people-
and stretch out because those are meant to be the driving points.
and
for,
that's where you get
for
a
humans.
Gandhi.
For
That's
humans,
where you get a
exactly.
Gandhi or a Martin Luther.
They're meant to be the propping up and driving of human civilization because not everyone's that guy.
Right, they're
You know what I'm
guiding
saying?
that.
But
they're
then they
establishing
show us that we can be that.
Right, but then we have to become that, you know? Like, I mean, obviously they all have their flaws. Even Martin had his flaws. Gandhi had his
Everyone
flaws.
has
But like, they're
At the end of
trying
the
to
day,
find of like
become-
the enemy. It seems to be the easiest agreement is the enemy isn't each other.
Exactly, yeah. We
It's
can
like-
all agree that.
So we all get together and we're like, look, we don't know. And like, so you're China. Let's just say you're China
Listen, yeah.
and I'm America, right?
Yeah.
And we meet at the table, right? And I'm like, look, dude, I don't know how the fuck this happened, bro. A billion of us, and we're probably not going to get this right. Let's just establish a lot of things like that, right? But so
one.
so listen, exactly, because
saying?
how else are we going to tell history to someone 100 years from now if we don't do a one world order?
Exactly.
To establish
Exactly.
this type of language and this information
humans.
that we can funnel down
For-
one
exactly.
line. No one can
Exactly.
adapt it, right? No one can story of it like these are the facts, these are the fossils, this
we're
is the
learning from it,
imprint.
and we're learning from
We've
it.
all
And we're
agreed.
becoming better continuously.
Okay. So we form a UN basically, but the UN has to be represented by every country. One person has to go because there is a lot of people, and we're trying, and we're not going to get this right.
No, we're
say it
not.
off the jump.
No,
we're not getting this
You're
right. A lot of people ain't going to get hurt, right?
A lot of people are
but
gonna
we're
die.
trying, right?
Exactly.
And it's better than us all just beating each other's dicks every day, right?
And just
so let's just say
But that's what
so
we're
you
doing,
come
though,
right.
you
You're
know?
China. I'm American. I'm like, look, I don't fucking know, bro. I do not fucking know what we're doing here, but I got this. And you got this, right? So you're a leader, though. You're the leader for your people.
Yeah.
I'm the leader for my people. It's then up to that person
To
convey,
decide what's
convey,
the
to give,
moving forward.
but they have to give that to the people. You know, you have to like when I'm trying to sell you an
but
idea,
that's the
right?
thing. We
When-
don't
when I-
have that for the people yet, though.
Right,
Right.
but like-
Because it's still being fought for.
But like, just think
It's
about
still being
like,
fought for every day.
but just think about like eating animals, bro. Right? Like I, as a human, was trying to give you that idea, you know, that you didn't see as another idea. It's just like I was trying to sell you an idea of mine.
That's the transcending thing of
like-
moving beyond being a human and being, where you move into the next step of conscious being.
But
you know
let's
what I'm
not
saying?
try to make it too difficult, right? Because at this point, it's like we're always going to be on an LSD
Right.
trip.
But see,
Right? So let's try and solve it in a sober-
But that's all necessary, though. You know what I'm saying? Because that is the
That is.
universe.
You're
That's
right.
us working it out.
You're right. So we join
are
together.
working it out.
So we join together, right? You're China, I'm America.
Yeah.
We make an agreement, right? That you can have your language and I have my language, right? Yeah, you got your language and I
Yeah.
got my language, but we're going to do a world language now. And it's not going to be how you say something, it's going to be how you write something. So that it can't even be manipulated
Exactly.
through your voice.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to put down a symbol that's why
Well,
probably
that-
that's probably why Chinese had a good thing going.
Why do you think
there.
people had to
Right?
make up signatures to sign things where it was like, look, we then came together, we put it in writing, and then you signed on the line. Exactly.
But now what are you
But
gonna
then you weaponize that as people, you know what I'm saying?
so why are you now using your evil?
Exactly.
Yeah. Why did you let so we both agree we weren't gonna do that. Why did you let your evil people do that?
I see what you're saying, man.
You know
I see
what
what
I
you're saying.
mean?
Yeah.
It's- So like you're the leader.
You
have
gotta
to-
stop that.
You have to
stop
so-
that.
And listen, and people say that's
But-
hard when you get these numbers, right? But people do follow people, bro.
Yeah.
Like let's say if I was trying to bestow this image to 100,000 people, right?
Yeah.
There might be 1,000 of them that don't agree.
Yeah.
Might be 10,000 that don't agree. But if there's 90,000 that agree with me, and it's like, look, now we all believe we got this peaceful image of what Earth should be, right?
Mhm.
We may have to use unpeaceful terms
To
accomplish
eliminate it.
that, you
And
know?
then once we
eliminate that,
it's a civil war within the
A
human
civil-
species. Civil war, bro. You
not the what's those
it's literally a civil war. We'll
it's
fight
a war
ourselves.
going on in this.
We'll fight ourselves.
Yeah, with our
literally.
own consciousness. We're battling our own consciousness basically.
Yeah.
For what's
Now,
gonna what is gonna lead
Now, that's
this
the thing.
planet
That's the
forward.
thing. That's
bro.
the thing.
We're
That's the thing.
negative or we're neutral right now or we're negative. You know, we're trying to turn that positive. But like, what do we have to do? Do we have to bring that down a little bit negative? You get what I'm saying? Do you have to eliminate someone to be a there? You get what I'm saying?
have
Like
to,
if
bro.
there's 90, what I'm saying is, right? So what I was trying to say is like if I go and preach this to 100 people, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And 10 of them say, I don't agree with him. but 90 of you say he's right.
Yeah.
Right? Then we go, look, bro, we try to teach these 10 people, but if they
See?
don't get it, they don't get it.
Exactly.
And that's where our human comes into us,
Exactly.
right? We're eliminating that because we believe in evolution.
And
we've established that, right?
That's what
we're
human,
going
that's
to
what I'm saying.
evolve.
That's
We're
what I'm
going to
saying.
evolve from this,
And
right?
that's
So now
cutting
we're
that off. You know
we're
what I'm saying?
establishing
That's what I'm
this,
saying.
and they're right.
Exactly.
Right.
That's
Thank you.
what I'm saying.
We just did
That's
that
what I'm
right there.
saying.
Right
Yeah,
there.
exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So we got to cut that off right there. That's the end of ego right there, dude.
Yeah, it
That's
is,
the
man.
end of all that right there.
100%.
And then the next day, I'm not worried about what's going to make the most money, bro. We're just thinking about like, okay, well, do you have a good life?
Bro, we're
right?
all happy.
Okay, well, I've got a good life. Okay, well, I'm happy. Okay, well, what's anything else matter? You know, like, what's it matter what God I believe in? We're both on this lake right now, fucking waveboarding. What's it matter if you're Indian or I'm American? Like, what does that matter?
Agreement.
We both enjoy waveboarding on planet Earth
that's
right
what I'm
now.
saying, yeah.
Right? We can agree on that. So it's like, why are we fighting over if you're right or I'm right? You know what I mean? Like, why can't we just say
also accepting it would be also giving into what they want us to do? But is that what they need for us to as humans do?
But
you know what I'm saying?
But we need something established, bro. That's probably why these things have been written throughout time.
Yeah,
because we're trying to establish something. Like,
and we can't establish it.
Look, this is what it is. We don't know. There's a God, right? But we can't put a name on it. We can't put a title on it, and no human should try to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Instead, throughout history, it's people trying to put a name and a thought on that, you know? And it's just holding us back from like conscious.
That's what I'm saying, bro. So like
conscious growth.
You've been you've been working through all that, but like that's like the next step of human conscious being and believing, you know what I'm saying?
So
it's
right,
that next leap.
But it's weird. It's weird though, because now I have to sell people, right? I have to
exactly.
Now I'm trying to sell people. So I sold that first idea to people, right? So I got 90 people that believe that.
Yeah, so the next one.
No. Now I have to sell the scariest one, right? Which is the fact, well, listen, 90, those 10 don't agree with what we're saying. Are we right? We don't know. But we all agree that most of us think this.
And we need that control.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's kind of what we're leaning towards.
Yeah.
So we can't have these guys saying they want to be their own little fraction. Like, we can't do that.
Because that's just,
we're not going to get nowhere.
Exactly.
We have to have
one
straight line
exactly.
of fucking information
but that
down
is
to 1,000 years.
That you will eliminate other humans.
We have to put shit in space to tell future us.
And you're going to kill a lot of people doing that.
Yeah. So that's the scariest thing. What I'm trying to say is, it's like,
that's the building of civilization, period, bro.
But like,
that's the very building of civilization.
Well, let's just go to a village mentality.
That's why we're so early on this stage, bro.
But listen, right? But you say like me. You say I'm a natural born leader, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's a natural born leader, right? So like, now I've convinced 90 people of this life that me and you see.
Yeah.
But it's not the fact of I have to convince the other 10, bro. I have to convince that 90 that if the other 10 doesn't go with this, they don't get to be their self. Mm-hmm. And we have to make sure that they don't get to be their self, or else we're never going to make progress. There's going to end up becoming too many of us, and the information is going to be too distributed. You're going to keep
branching and breaking and creating these specialized units. And
you're never going to get anywhere. Where if we just funneled it from the beginning of like, we got this metal, like one entire nation, we'd be like, oh, this metal, we got this, we got so many resources.
Again, bro,
we're going to fucking.
That's eliminating the
how quick
eliminate
would we have been in space, dude? We would have been in space like that. You know, it would have been the only thing we cared about, bro. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We would, like, if I was with you every day and we just woke up, like, okay, well, we agreed that that's not the life, right? Well, what are we going to do with our time? We're going to try and figure out what is out there. I mean, that's natural, but that should be the only thing.
Not only that, bro. We're gonna figure out how to then make the world work to us,
right?
Humans do,
but the answer always being we don't know.
Yeah,
right. Which is the hardest thing, but also the easiest thing, right? Because at this point, I'm not trying to sell.
We can talk about what we don't know all day,
right?
Because that's what we're doing all the time.
Exactly. I'm not trying to sell you anything. When I tell you I don't know,
exactly.
I'm not trying to sell you anything.
Exactly.
I don't have an answer for you, dude.
We're agreeing. I don't want to kill you.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
Like, I don't know why exactly. We don't need to kill each other. Like I said, should we even be killing animals? That's another decision to make forward down the line. But we can go, I shouldn't kill you, right? Because I need you.
But it's also the fact that at some point there will be forces of contention for good and evil.
Yeah, and that shows like the plethora of life, basically, because so many people do this that now we have tension pulling from like the direction that we all commonly see one direction.
Yeah, we all see it,
you
bro.
know,
Yeah.
but like we're pulled in all these other ways.
That's what I'm saying. So like as a human, that's what I'm saying. So like our first instinct is like, why are you letting your bad people do that?
Right.
The first instinct is to do that.
Right,
The first
exactly.
instinct is to do that.
No, it's not, dude.
You know
It's
what I'm saying?
not, bro. It's
That's what I'm
not, bro. I
saying.
don't believe
You gotta
that.
change, but no, that's what I'm saying. You gotta change that.
You
You gotta change that.
No, I
You
think
gotta change that.
It's that first person's instinct for 1 out of 1 billion of us. You know, we're only one species, right? So when other people talk about humans on Earth, they should say most of them are good. You know, which is what I would say. 99% of us are good.
Yeah.
1% are bad. And that 1%, you can narrow that down to a 0.5% usually. It's usually people that are just misguided.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so you get that down to another line of like, okay, now you have pure evil. That's going to exist. Right? And we're all against pure evil.
But look at the very
So we're trying to explain pure evil.
So like as people, that's what I'm saying. As humans do. So like when you then get to the point that we're at now, where you have a whole country or you have a whole landmass of people that you can then control. That's where we're at now. Is then like, you know, you got to be the next force.
That's
and then
right.
take over your force. Like I'm over here with a different viewpoint.
But doesn't New World Order just make more and more sense? Of like people realize, oh, we fucked up.
Yeah.
We probably should try and just get a bunch of us together to try and establish how we're going to do this going forward, because what we got ain't working.
Yeah.
So if I'm the only person with $1 trillion, I want to know what other 6 people got $1 trillion.
Exactly.
Right? So
you know
I can go like,
so I can talk to them and we can.
And from there,
You
it's
know?
like, now we're hoping that these people are good. You know? Because if not, then we're gonna have guys like Warren Buffett.
That's
Bill.
the thing.
That's why we can't have money.
The human God complex.
That's why you can't have money, bro. Because then you allow evil to have
class,
that. The right.
The
You establish exactly. You establish all of those things. So you have to eliminate the money off the jump. And then it just comes down to, are you a leader, right? Okay, well, you're a leader. Well, how many people are you going to get to follow your evil beliefs? You know,
because that's what I'm labeling you.
You know, because if I come to you and I'm like, everyone we see, we're going to kill. Well, that's a tedious life, dude. That's a hard. I don't think you're gonna sell that to everyone.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what I'm saying.
It's like everyone, dude. We're gonna kill
exactly.
Like Genghis Khan.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, Genghis Khan's like everyone we see, we're gonna kill and make them us.
Yeah.
But it's like eventually you get to the point where you're like, everybody, dude.
You have to fight
big
yourself.
As shit.
That's what I'm saying, bro. We're not there yet, bro.
I looked up one day. Like, this is big as shit.
That's what I'm saying. This is a lot to handle right now.
Yo, so after Genghis Khan
killed a lot on my plate.
Dude, after Genghis Khan killed 1 million people and took over 1 million fucking acres, you know what I mean? And affected the carbon imprint of Earth as we know it. Literally, carbon is still being output. He lowered the carbon emission from our planet.
Yeah.
And
by killing so many people.
Trying to find an answer.
Exactly.
His answer. And but what did he get to?
But listen,
what did he get to? It's what this bitch is big.
Hey, that's what I'm saying.
This bitch is big.
This is a lot. I never asked for any of this, bro.
It's too fucking big.
I never asked for any of this.
We tried, guys. It's too fucking big. I don't know why they made it this big. It's only been like 100 million of us here. We're supposed to be the moon. You know what I mean? Like, we're supposed to be the fucking moon size.
You know,
this one ain't fit for life. They fucked us. They reversed it. They put a life on this planet. Now it's just out of control. We can't fucking establish history.
Yeah. It's just spun out of control at this point. We don't know who has what ends. You know what I'm saying?
We're chasing our own tail, dude.
Exactly, man. And
like,
that's the whole problem with humans, man.
And I'm just here today trying to sell you this. And you're just here today trying to sell me this. 100,000 years after Genghis Khan killed everyone trying to tell them something.
Exactly.
You know, we gotta figure out a way that we can get it to everyone without violence. We have to figure this out, dude. Like, we're never gonna get nowhere.
Yeah, but when you're willing to take up violence to then fight against this, You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna get nowhere. That's what
We
I'm saying.
literally have to be
Exactly.
social justice warriors.
You have to-
That's what we are.
We have to accept that we have to then eliminate.
The military has to. It's basically just a moral. It's a moral military.
Well, that's what I'm saying, bro.
Right?
And that's what they're trying to establish.
But
You know what I'm saying?
it's
But like again, to sit here and be like, "Hey, bro, we're all going with that."
But me and you can establish that there's just morals that we don't break, right?
Yeah.
Like we're not gonna.
But I have different morals we don't break. You know what I'm saying?
But that's fine, and that's fine, right? But there's a couple we agree on, right? That we're just like, you can't do these.
Don't focus exactly, but we don't focus on those.
Well, because there's so many of us, it's like I can't.
There's so many.
I can't be worried about trying to stop every bit of evil throughout the planet. It's too big.
Exactly.
It's too big. So we have to figure out another way to communicate. That's not language. I have to be able to.
You tried religion.
No, bro.
You
like,
know what I'm saying? Like,
it has to be something spiritual, dude, to where you can be in front of.
We're trying religion. We're trying.
No, bro. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying like spiritual like that. I'm saying it has to be like it's like we have to be able to talk in each other's heads.
But those
right?
are those.
But how do animals communicate?
Exactly,
right?
bro.
It's like, how does a fucking bird know where it's at on Earth by its fucking longitude and fucking length? You know, it's using the fucking magnetic poles, dude. Well, we can all agree there's magnetic poles. Well, then we can agree, don't fucking kill me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why can we agree there's fucking magnetic poles and we don't know how these animals are talking to each other, but I want to kill you? Like, it's just the dumbest shit ever, bro.
Yeah, it is,
and that's
man.
why humans are so enamored.
I'm trying to figure out the system to then.
But that's why we're so enamored with wildlife, you know? Because we see that. We're like, a monkey doesn't go... A monkey doesn't go to a monkey and go, how did we get here?
Well, listen.
He doesn't care.
But what we focus on in those nature documentaries is like, hey, this monkey then showed another monkey something. That's really cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but it's so weird.
We're beyond that. We are beyond that.
But that's tough, right? Because it's like, okay, well then, how did the elephant come? Right? Like, is there no human gene that's in the elephant DNA pool? Right? Because we never morphed anything.
That's what I'm saying. So
like why is that a whole different breed of gene, right? So basically we're ape.
Well, think about it. The very nature of the life on planet would be that at one point, the one species comes out on top. The one species on that planet. And then once the one species come out on top of the planet, which is humans, we then have to come together again for another.
Right, we have to break
and make that leap.
It's a conscious leap. It really is.
Bro.
It's like
a conscious leap. Society's moving. Society's moving, and some people move too fast with it. Yeah. Some people move real slow with it.
It's weird,
but it's changing.
But who dictates
exactly
the time of?
And that's why we're gonna argue all day. That's why we're gonna get nowhere. Is because. I don't want, you know what I'm saying?
But we don't need an answer. Like, as a human to human, just us talking right now, right? I'm not asking for an answer from you.
Yeah,
I don't want you to tell me how we're here right now, even talking like this.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that, dude. But like, I still do want to talk about like humans.
All those people are
other people.
What I told that guy. It's just because he's asking me, and this guy asked me, and it's so.
The first thing, okay, then the first thing in the Bible should be we don't know. That it's like
it's a conscious thing, man. It's a very
anything from there is a lie. It's man-made.
Exactly,
it's man-made from there.
But that's the thing with humans. When it comes with the evidence thing, is like so. Like here, this is how we're reasoning this stuff. You know, it's like now I'm trying to then take what you're gonna use to reason against me to then use it to reason back against you. You know what I'm saying? Like there's that gonna be there. Like you know what I'm saying?
But like yes, that's gonna be there, right? But you're going to realize that comes in smaller and smaller fractions as you decide bigger and bigger topics on life. Like when we go, who's for murder? You know what I mean? If everyone on the planet got a vote, dude, it would be 1% of people are for murder.
And they would be murdered.
You get what I'm saying? But they're murderers. But I'm saying is the reason that isn't established is because we just can't admit that we don't know why we're here.
Yeah.
But like, look. We've all agreed that pretty much here we're good, we're peaceful, we don't want to kill each other. We don't think we should be killing anything here. But there is evil people here that will try and kill you. So also know how to defend yourself.
Exactly.
But like we've all made this conscious leap.
But listen, but you also have to know when to listen, hold on. Let me talk real quick. But you also have to allow it in such a way that it continues to coexist, work together, and we will only know when something doesn't work when we get to that point where, like, people start killing each other, do some crazy shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But like this is where I say it starts, right? Where it's scary, but it's like I think it's fucked up, Steve. And I think it literally may start with two people again.
yeah,
Somewhere throughout time. It's us talking like this, right?
forever.
Seeing it's but regardless, I'm not even trying to get into humans. I'm just saying
What we're
Michael
gonna do
Newell
for 'em.
and Stephen Baker, right?
What we're
As
gonna do moving
our
forward.
souls, right? We both agree that like there's a couple things we can agree on, right? It's
Yeah.
like we're not gonna kill each other, right? We don't think you should fuck with kids. You know what I mean? You shouldn't rape resources. Like we can agree on that, right? Whatever you want to do after that to try and explain like why you're here is up to you, and that's fun with your mind,
Exactly.
right? But like the main thing is we don't know.
Yeah.
Like we don't know why we're here. We don't know what the fuck's going on, but just kind of we're just going, and that's the first step.
Well, that's the thing. Like you just kind of need in the beginning. You just kind of need blind following. You know what I'm saying? You just need blind following.
But
and
listen,
faith.
but
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna do that. You know what I'm saying?
This is where it always goes, though. Exactly. There's no such thing as blind following. What is that, Steve? Like when you say like I'm a natural born leader, right? Well, why is it that someone will believe me telling them that, right, over someone else telling them that? Why is that, right? What is that? It's not. I'm not trying to sell you something. You're a human.
You're just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying.
But for some reason, you're like.
But they claw harder. People claw harder. That's what makes them that.
But we have choices now, where it's like we have so many choices in the world of what you can be in this world, right?
Yep.
We're like, but me and you agreed, like, we don't think you should kill people and sell drugs and shit like that. And like, you should focus on these kind of things. But like, at the same time, you have to survive every day. So we're still bought into that system. Like we're not just going to go change tomorrow because.
And then it's also like, how do those people who then prop that part of our life up? Like, do they have to live?
Can we even make in a 60-year span of the rest of our life?
People are gonna do the shit work, bro. People are gonna do shit work.
It has to start somewhere.
Exactly.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
Of like, so what I'm saying is like, so right now we've agreed on these things as like mutual humans, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of us being friends forever, how long,
Yeah.
any type of bias, as humans, we've agreed, I can kill you, you can kill me. So let's not do that, right? We both agree we're not our enemies now.
Mm-hmm.
We first did that thing, right? So we can agree, like, we're not going to go rape things. We're not going to, you know what I mean? But we have to establish specific, to us, basically.
And we continue to work that out until you step out of line, but then you have to nip that in real quick.
But when does that become evil, right? It's like, how far can good go till it becomes evil? You can do something if I kill a rapist, it's good to me, but bad to him,
Yeah.
So it's like, how far can that progress be made?
But you would say you're good for the better whole would be to then take that guy who wants to do it.
It's what we're saying, but on that one small battle in the planet at that time, it seems so minuscule.
Exactly.
But those just keep happening. And then we have a conscious leap. It's like, well, I don't want to fight for something that we all ain't even agreeing on. We ain't going to get credit for. It's like, that's how we work, basically. That's how we work. It's like, oh, well, what's the point of us all working towards one thing? Because then what are my accomplishments? You get what I'm saying?
You're just working towards the
like if
thing.
we're both like, all right, so we don't know what to do, but we figured out we need like this food and this water for us to survive, right?
We keep building that.
And from there, we just pretty much spend our days thinking.
Well, that's the thing.
That's what it would be, dude. It would just be days of thinking.
You know what I'm saying?
And like you would create things that are fun to you, but like really,
but at the end of the day, not everything's fun forever.
But listen,
so it's
but the entire world's everyday objective should be just to think. Like we just really need to just keep thinking.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why we eventually take a leap.
Yep. Because it will work itself out, bro.
But what is working itself out is what's frustrating.
That's what I'm saying. That's us saying the conscious leap. But like, you're saying how do you push that forward and reinforce it amongst the next people?
Because you try and teach your child. What I'm saying is like, how do you teach your child, right? We're going to go far enough to agree that we're civil with every human and every life that we see on this planet. But we also have to respect that anyone can kill us.
You see?
Okay, but when we can, that's what I'm saying. It should be easy for humans because I can go, Steve, you're 6'2", you're fucking 200 pounds. I know you can kill me. You know, like I know.
But it's but it's the fact that you want to kill that guy. I don't think you should kill that guy. You know what I'm saying? You want to kill him.
I don't want to kill him.
And I don't think you should kill him. You know what I'm saying? But like,
I don't want to kill him.
I think we might have to kill him.
I think I gotta kill him because I'm worried he's gonna kill.
Exactly.
But like, what? It's so we're right there. But it's 99% of us agreeing on the same thing.
Yeah.
Of like, we shouldn't be killing each other. There's just one guy who's doing killing. And we just need to figure out how to stop
and keep fighting against that, man. Just keep stopping that shit from so that no one kills anyone anymore.
So then we do need jails, right? I mean, do we need a jail? Like, you see how they got to these points.
Exactly.
When you think about it, you're like, well, what the fuck do I do with someone who doesn't want to do what I'm saying?
Because every day you have one of you being born and being like, why is this? Why is that? Every one of you to deal with every day.
And then you have these weird attachments, though, right? Because, like, say there's 100 of us, right? Yeah. And only one person is disagreeing with everyone, right? So much, listen. Only one person is disagreeing with us, but that one person's my brother, like my blood brother.
Yeah.
Well, then I don't know. It's like, well, he could be wrong. You know, for some reason, like now I'm attached to this. But really, you guys are my blood brothers.
Yeah. It's me and you right here, right now.
It's so weird how we're imprinted like that. Yeah, you know?
We are a collective, like
it's like we overthought things, bro. We overthought it.
So like when you think of something like an advanced species, what do you think of? It's probably something that's it's like unified in some conscious way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it seems like everyone's gonna agree. Why are you even arguing over that? Like any planet, it seems like we can get to the point of like, why are we even arguing who put us here, dude? And why are we still fighting over shit? Like, obviously, you can't establish a world law, right? That everybody's gonna follow, because that comes to the point where it's like, well, if my brother's the one that's saying he thinks we should rape kids, basically, am I going to bash my brother's head in?
That's what it might be.
That's what you got to do.
That's what it might be sometimes.
Or the village has to go, look,
that's the ugly side, bro.
Pass good history along to 1,000, our 10th generation, we have to eliminate your brother right now because your brother thinks this. You get what I'm saying? Like, and you don't think this. You think like us.
We came from the same person.
But what I'm trying to say, us isn't a bad thing, though, right? Because that's what I'm saying. Where like even me trying to explain this is me using it.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. But really, us isn't a bad thing. Like we're just agreeing that like it's us.
Yeah.
But like but it's not us versus everyone. But like we disagree, it's just us.
We don't really know. We have to. So like for us in particular, you have to. you have to like do it collectively, but also realize that like each individual one will also kind of have to exist in a certain way or form, but you will have to stop them when they start existing oddly, you know what I'm saying?
But
like
every morning we should wake up and make the same agreement that we're just going to focus on something greater today, right? We're all going to objectively agree to think without destruction today. Right? Everyone in this.
What's that gonna be, huh? What would that look like?
I'm trying to create it right here, dog. I feel like I have it. I have the imprint. It's just the fact of like, I get 1 million people to believe that.
Right.
You know? Like, because I'm no one.
Because I'm against you until I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm against you until I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? So like,
until you start making sense. You're crazy till you make sense.
Everything foreign coming from you is gonna be a threat to me at the beginning because of what I know. You're
crazy till you make sense.
Yeah.
Like literally. You know what I mean? Like keep talking. I'm gonna kill you or follow you.
Exactly.
That's basically what it is, right? It's like even on friendships, like I'm not agreeing I'm gonna kill you, but I'm not gonna be your friend because I can tell what you're saying is like I think we got different moral codes. That's why I keep saying moral code because it's like an agreement of every living thing.
I see what you're saying.
Like we don't do that. Yeah. Look, we kill each other, right? But we don't do that.
Exactly.
You know, like we know 40-year-old men aren't fucking 9-year-old babies.
Where I'm sitting here though is like that being and that idea, what you're going to move forward as history, and it's like, well, that's what I want to create.
You're that guy we established all these rules, and you do a nut shot,
Exactly,
right?
see?
And you win the fight,
Exactly.
because you broke that.
Exactly.
You broke that.
And once you control that and weaponize that, man.
But this goes back to our original thought, right? Where everybody else that's like following that leader, we're all like,
money.
we're all. But look, everyone who's following a leader, we're like, we thought you were going to do a good thing, though. You know, we thought we wanted a good thing. Now you're telling us.
But in order for me to figure this out, you need to be doing something 24/7. You need to be doing something at all points of thinking time that I need to use to develop this. I need to then come up with something to then distract, like take care of that and nurture that in its own. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever you do in your leisure time, I cannot control. And the planet is too big. But we all need to have a mutual agreement that there should be a world language. And every day you should wake up for the greater thought of how to improve civilization.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know anything else, dude. We don't know anything else. That's it. That's the one rule for the planet. We don't got religions. We don't got nothing. That's not even allowed no more. We don't even allow the creation of that. We just got this one rule that we could never figure it out without fighting each other. So we agree to not even think about it, and we move forward.
Or we're gonna,
you know what I mean? Like,
or we're gonna fight.
Yeah.
Or we're gonna fight about it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but why? Why would we? Are we created just to be this creature that's never ending, just going to exterminate itself? What's our point of even being here if we're just going to dig? But listen, at this point,
those seeds will reach.
But dude, at this point, you're decaying the universe, though. You get what I'm saying? Like, your flowers aren't good no more. You get what I'm saying? You're growing.
Your universe thinks.
No, bro, you're growing black roses, dog. Your planet has your planet has a negative output. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so now if my planet doesn't want your planet, dude, because we're trying to establish, like, we don't know, right? But we just know, like, we're trying to establish this positive go towards, right? So, like, your planet isn't with it. We might just get rid of your whole planet if that's an option.
Yeah.
You know, because that might be the tough point of history.
Because if not,
how am I ever going to get it there? How am I going to get it to them if I don't use some force, basically, right? Like, how?
You have to accept
the smartest man in the world can only teach his great-grandchild.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to be able to.
You're trying to control it. I'm trying to control it.
Right now, let's just say, though, I'm the man with all the answers. I've got all of the world's answers, right? I can only teach as many generations that get provided by the time I die.
Yeah.
As far as my actual teaching from someone that actually got from me. You know what I mean? From there, I tried to put it in a language and it got misconstrued all these different ways. But like, it's all so in order for it to be passed among so many generations,
that's the first echo, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would keep
like,
working against itself until
maybe
it keeps going.
That's like what a Freemason is, Steve.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, look, in the beginning,
thinking.
It's like a collective thinking. They're like, look, we're going to go lives of us dying. You're going to have kids that are going to become this, and they're going to
But you just have to keep propping up this particular thing.
And then your kid's going to prop it up.
Hold that up and hold it up and hold it up.
Your kid's going to die. Yep. And that's the only way that you can funnel it down here. And that's them trying to do it on, like, the smallest minuscule amount, right? And so imagine if we did that, but it's all in agreement now.
That's what comes, like, I don't know. It's so hard to not look at as an opponent. You know what I'm saying? It's so hard to not look at
I'm not your opponent.
Exactly.
Right?
It's so hard not to look at it that way. You know what I'm saying?
Why?
Because you have to, because then we have to agree. We have to agree everything. And then, like,
but we don't have to agree on everything. See, that's where we keep making things
hung up
difficult.
on the agreements and the disagreements.
Yeah, like, we're overthinking it. I don't even need to know your DNA structure, dude.
Yeah.
You know, there's simple things. Things where this ends, bro.
But listen, hold up.
You don't get to drill into Earth, right?
Yeah.
You don't get to.
Exactly.
Simple as that.
Exactly.
And if you want to do that, then I will use force. I don't want to use force on this planet, but if you do some shit where it's going to affect the future of, like, my information here, you know what I mean, of the good information, then I do have to eliminate that, right?
And you got to protect it.
And you have to protect that.
And keep reinforcing that and protect that institution. And this is where we become... Listen, this is where it becomes a scary word for humans, because you call it something that's not you. No,
it's your mortality.
You call it something that's not you.
But your information dies in your mortality. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can be the smartest man on the planet.
Yeah.
Once you're dead, you're not doing anything anymore.
Exactly.
You're gone.
So you keep trying to educate people.
Thanks for the work, but you're hoping they do it.
Exactly.
But you don't live long enough to actually see your work.
That's why you put it out. But that's why.
But that's why they kill him, Martin.
But listen. But that's also why. But
Or
it's
they
also
shoot a JFK.
uh,
You know, put a bullet in his head.
Yeah, exactly.
He's making too much sense.
yeah.
And we're all scared to make sense because then we got to admit that we don't know why we're here.
Yep.
And we can't seem to do that.
No, man. It's the next leap for us, bro. Like we're trying to push that forward, but me and you doing this right now is us pushing it forward.
Yeah.
Like, there's only so far we're gonna be able to go, and then the next brains of our next kind, that our offspring, are gonna be able to understand that more and
Doesn't
more.
it just make you feel small?
It's terrible, bro.
It
is
makes you feel so
terrible,
small.
bro.
It's like I won't even see the
It is
impact of my
terrible.
causes. You basically have to have faith that like 10 generations from now, that guy, I don't even think could be a dick. My great grandson, 10 generations could be a dick.
And you're just hoping it works out, man. Because because they're the ones kind of taking the reins, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
kids.
I'm saying, like, you gotta have good kids, and they have to keep upholding that and upholding that.
Good kids.
But at the end of the day, I need people to uphold this, and I need people to do that. And it's like,
I'll give you $100,000 if you kill someone. Okay. $100,000. I don't even know what that is, but it gets me a lot of what I want.
exactly. Whatever you want, pretty much.
That guy.
Whatever you want, pretty much, man. So I'll do
pussy.
I'll do the unimaginable, bro. I will do the unimaginable. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Do the unimaginable. But then is it hard to come to the consensus that is that, you know what I'm saying?
I'm dead, bro. I'm
sweating so hard, man.
I'm fucking dead, bro. You will do the unimaginable.
Yeah.
Steve will do the unimaginable.
I don't know, man.
What is? You can't even imagine this, dumbass. You know what I mean? It's the ultimate.
I'm trying to get that.
It's the ultimate insult to another human, though, right?
Exactly.
This is